It's time to get activated, gamers, because you're listening to the GigaBoots Game of the Year 2023, featuring Dan and Bob Video Games.
If you have any problems with any of our lists, yell at Bob.
Oh no.
Chris Wolfhart.
Guaranteed to outlast AAA gaming.
And Dr. Agro.
Sure glad I spent this whole year knowing I'd be on this podcast.
This episode features outrageous categories such as
Coolest thing in a game, Most hideous creature, Game that shipped too early, and SCRIMBLO of the year.
So grab your Nuggies and Mountain Dew, gamers, sit back in your race car chair and get ready, because the GigaBoots Game of the Year 2023 Podstravaganza starts right now!
Yippee!
Our journey continues into judging the year in gaming that was 2023. We have everyone still. We've got Bob.
Hey.
We've got Chris.
Hey.
We've got Dr. Agro.
Horses.
And we've got categories, so let's get to it. The first category, Game That Shipped Too Early Award. The nominees are Atomic Heart, Baldur's Gate 3 on Xbox. You know, I'm gonna say maybe we could remove on Xbox based on things I've heard about other platforms.
Yeah, X3 sounds maybe like it's not ready even still.
Act 3 is when the game goes into crisis mode. And by crisis, I mean the game. Batman Arkham Trilogy on Switch. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Oh my god. Final Fantasy 16. Firewall Ultra. Goodbye, Volcano High. Redfall. And Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Oh, this colon's in the wrong spot. It goes after Jedi.
Oh, whoops.
1 second. There we go.
But what if they're two colons?
Okay. Wait, let's be, some games should.
Yes.
Right? Eventually, some games should just be like, there are two colons in my title, and you will all respect it.
And there's some part of the title in parentheses.
I'm not the best punctuationist alive, but I feel like you can't have two colons in a single thing.
I feel
Wait,
you can't stop me.
What if they want the semicolon?
Oh, no.
Don't fucking
No,
ask. Who
don't.
knows? That is a black box of grammatical mystery.
Now I'm just thinking about that semicolon song where it just ends with, and those were all examples of a colon, you all get an F.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to get 4 votes here on which game should get the Game That Shipped Too Early award. The definitive example for the year. I want to just make an argument real quick.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 major things here I need to push for, personally. One of them's Firewall Ultra. A game that was barely functional when it launched, seemed so empty in the way it carried itself, seemed so incomplete and completely, like, half-baked as a concept. This tactical shooter that is a sequel to a PSVR 1 tactical shooter that is very much lauded and celebrated by that community, had a really active user base. It is so unreal that this one came out and just it was not done, and now it never will be. Because the studio is shut down. That game barely had a functioning matchmaking. It has no gravitas to any of it. It just seems like it's hard to describe how you get shuttled from one experience to the next, each with just not enough polish to convince you that it's an intentional moment in the game flow.
They just barely were able to boot you into the map.
Yeah, that's how it feels. It feels like, hey, we got it working.
Mm-hmm.
It is so jarring. The second one, I think this should maybe walk away with this category because it's categorically just true. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. The Call of Duty game that wasn't supposed to be a Call of Duty game, and if it was going to be a game, it should have had 2 more years.
Yeah, I can see that.
This was supposed to be a DLC update. Then they made it into a whole game, and they gave it nowhere near the development time necessary. It is unreal levels of, we took a Warzone map, we put very small objectives in it. That's a level.
This is a Call of Duty campaign.
Now, Dan, this is all true, but
Every Call of Duty game ships too early because it has to come out in the same month every year the company dies.
Even so, given the metric of that, if we're speaking relatives here, this is so much worse than all the others.
So far.
Fair enough. We gotta judge 2023 by the metrics of our time, though. Did anyone want to speak out and try to prop up some nominees here?
Jedi Survivor feels like the obvious one. Where that game didn't run good. It was obviously pushed out early to hit May 4th because Disney is an insane company that doesn't care about its products at all. Oops, looks like that finally caught up to them.
Yeah, this is that thing where it's like 3 months later, it still wasn't ready to go. And then they finally, like 6 months later, then it was finally, okay, now it's acceptable.
Yeah, now we have a mode that mostly runs at 60. Now we have a game that is mostly not on fire.
Right.
And they even put out an update for this the day of this recording.
Yeah.
Which I had to look up what it was. And it's like, we added accessibility features. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then in the small text, also, we fix performance on certain modes. I'm like, oh my God, it's still happening. On PC, this is still not good enough. This is in that exact category of PC games that are just not good enough to earn your dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, there's no thing I can boot to have it process all the shaders so it runs smooth when I do play it. When you cross the terrain segmentation in the data structures, it hitches hard no matter what your PC's performance level is.
Right.
And Stigus Moosin is gone. Like, this thing shipped early. It got raked through the coals a little bit on that. And now the director's just gone.
I think the Redfall is the other obvious one of like, yeah, everything coming out about this is it needed even more time. Although it might not ever been able to finish.
My two things of why I'm not going to vote for Redfall and why I'm not going to vote for Batman Arkham Trilogy on Switch shouldn't have happened. Either of them. Those games shouldn't have shipped because they shouldn't have been made. Batman Arkham Trilogy here, there was no way you were getting Arkham Knight to run on the Switch. Come on, man.
No, absolutely not. That should have been the first two games.
And then inherently, the title is Trilogy, so I can't even make the argument that if you chopped off that one, it would be fine.
You could chop off that one and then put in the bad one made by the other company.
I'm sorry, everyone's agreed that one's not real.
Or that it's secretly the best one?
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yep.
But Redfall is a game made by a single-player studio that made immersive Sims that tried to be vampire Borderlands.
Uh-huh.
That simply should not have happened.
Fair.
And it's not like, oh, you shouldn't have these ideas, studio. It was a mandate from ZeniMax to make a multiplayer game.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have anything else they wanted to say about anything else in this list, propping them up? Tearing them down. Because Baldur's Gate 3, that has had some problems. On Xbox especially.
Yeah, I just don't have enough information myself other than just hearing constantly, oh yeah, that Act 3, man, that's rough.
Yeah, it turns out that runs like shit on everything, though.
Right? Like, you can't fix it because it's...
Did you know having 100 AIs walk around is really CPU intensive?
Maybe a mistake?
So I think we're good to start then. We're gonna let Chris go first.
Ooh. 4 votes?
Yep, 4 votes.
Atomic Heart. I feel like shipping with a way to get items that deranged is not your plan. I feel like that was the thing that you might have figured out a little bit more if you had more time on the game.
Next, you're going to tell me I wasn't supposed to get stuck in geometry every hour on the hour.
Yes, there was also the point where I had to look up how to jump specifically onto a platform to not fall through it and soft lock.
Yep. My only hesitation to vote for this.
Okay.
Are any of these things they have tried to fix acknowledge there are a problem?
I'm sure some of them must have been patched. They have patched the game.
Okay.
And
that's good.
And there's the notion of they won't patch the game now because it's out. You know, they could have worked on it more if it was just delayed.
That's true.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor, that deserves to take this in my opinion.
It is the poster child of exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's very archetypal for this category.
Like, this is the one that's like, this needed more polish. It's not like Call of Duty where it's like, you needed 2 more years.
Yeah, you needed time to make a different game with this name.
Yeah, at a certain point, by mass. That's fair. That's fair. Also worth noting with Star Wars Jedi Survivor, not only is this like kind of the poster child of this category, it's kind of the poster child of the modern trend of like, and I'm not saying this about you, viewer or listener. This is just how it feels nowadays. You would have to be an idiot to spend $70 on a video game. Because
yeah, every single $70 game launches in a just broken state. And is bad.
Yeah, so
it will be cheap half the price by the time it's working.
You're paying the most, an amount that maybe you shouldn't even be asked to pay for a version that isn't done.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of the poster child for that. And on PC, it's a poster child for like these games that are just shipping and don't have, like, they're pushing these consoles really hard, but they're made in a way without care for PC where it will just never run well.
I guess technically we could also put Forspoken on this list, but that's another case of like, you needed to make another game in here because this clearly is half done.
I'm trying to think of like,
you just hit that point where the trap door opens and you go to the end of the game.
Yeah. Would that have fixed it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like that doesn't fix Forspoken. Forspoken to me, like, so inextricably tied to its identity is how empty that world is. I can't imagine it without it being empty.
It's one of those like early generation tech games where they're building it out and figuring out how to do it, where so much stuff gets locked in as jank so early on that more time probably wouldn't have helped. They would have just started a new project with the stuff they learned.
Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, really?
That game doesn't run great, even performance mode. It drops pretty low pretty often. And bare minimum, it would get a vote in this category, because you couldn't figure out people would want to turn off motion blur before everybody told you to turn off motion blur.
Yeah, and I don't want to bring PR into this because this isn't about how PR is handled for a game, but it was really frustrating to see these obvious problems with the game's performance, with it not having a adjustable motion blur, let alone turning it off. And they're like, what's printed on the disc is like perfect forever. It's so finished. It's like, no, it really isn't.
Yeah, I don't think that I think you need to get a patch to even have any ability to change controls, and even that isn't like fully in there until later. Or it maybe never got fully done.
I'd honestly forgotten about a lot of those because my problems with that game could not have been solved by more time.
Right. Same. My core problems couldn't be solved by delaying it, but you know, it is ridiculous that the moment we finished that Final Fantasy 16 force feedback video, the moment we finished that is when they put out the patch that adjusted tons of things.
And goodbye Volcano High.
Would you like to explain this? Because none of the rest of us played it.
Half the game is that weird filler dimension, and even that weird filler dimension obviously was rushed because it doesn't have voice acting.
So here's my core question then, and I've been thinking about this a lot since I played Endless Monday. Would it not have been better to just ship a smaller game at a lower price?
It would have been so completely unremarkable if it had just been a visual novel. Like, it would have been utterly irrelevant. At least with what they shipped, I can go, hey, it looks like a fucking Netflix cartoon. Like, it looks like a cartoon. When you're not in the filler dimension.
What I'm saying is, like, if they cut out the filler dimension and lowered the price, would that not just make it a stronger package?
They probably couldn't lower the price, though.
How much was it?
Very expensive. I think it was $40.
Yeah, sounds like that filler content's real cheap too, so I feel like that wouldn't save them much money.
No, it was only $30, which is still a lot, but even if they had just actually voiced the filler content or only had you go to the filler dimension once, it even would have been fine to be shorter. But that's a clear we got way behind schedule and need to get this game out. It doesn't help that they started development right on top of COVID, I guess.
Right, yeah. That definitely makes a lot of the games coming out this year and last year and next a little weird.
And maybe fired their writer over some really cowardly limp dick shit. But yeah, I think if they had waited another year and at the very least voice acted the filler dimension and maybe inserted it slightly more eloquently so that it didn't literally be detached and not even address any of the plot points going on around it, because it can't, because it was made by different people, it would have helped. So it's just surreal to be like, these two characters are fighting. Now they're playing D&D. The conflict is not in the D&D at all.
Yeah, that's...
That just doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of these should have been the companion game for the other one. Okay. I'm going to go next. Atomic Heart, easily. That game needed more polish. Perhaps more than anything. I feel like balancing some things. You know, I shouldn't switch it to easy mode and then the boss has exactly half as much health.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to watch his health bar drain when you switch it.
Because I'll bring this anecdote up here because it was brought up in that, but it's been months since we recorded that. I changed the difficulty mode right as it reloaded me into a boss battle, hit him with one bullet, and his health bar dropped exactly to half minus one bullet of damage. There are just a bunch of things with that which make the balancing seem completely negligent, right?
Yeah,
the
you guys
experience unpolished.
You guys talking about it again really has reminded me of a lot of things in that game that I just kind of forgot because it was March in a very unremarkable game in most ways.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 16 I'm still mulling over. Like it's true that, you know, by the time we were able to record, edit, and put up the force feedback, they did a massive update that changed and improved a lot of things. But I don't know if it's as much the poster child for this category as other things. I'm even starting to consider maybe Redfall deserves it more than 16, which is nuts. Because once again, categorically, that game shouldn't have been made.
They did have to ship the 60 frame per second mode
and
later.
That's the number one thing in my brain right now that's like, you know, Redfall did get that 60 frames per second
That's
update.
true.
That way, the box isn't illegal.
Yes, that's true.
Which is so insane. When you ship your game so early that you have to cover this part of the box or else it's legally actionable. That's insane. That's a level of just not giving a shit about what you put out. For now, while I mull over that, I'm going to vote for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We've said it enough. I feel like anyone who's covered that game's multiple updates, the fact they can cover that and the fact people are interested in them covering that goes to show exactly how early it shipped. I'm going to put another vote for the $40 that disappeared into a game called Firewall Ultra. Sony was the publisher on this, and the fact they let that happen is so incredibly negligent and disrespectful to not only the developer, but the consumer, right? Mm-hmm. The players should get more of a finished product for $40 even in VR. They gave it so much marketing throughout the year to ship this out in such a flaccid, hollow, completely unfinished state. It is upsetting. I get one more vote. I'm turning on Call of Duty just because of the argument of, they would have made a different game. It wouldn't have been the same game that shipped later.
Yeah, this would in fact still have come out as DLC. It's just be a map pack.
Game that shipped too late, maybe. Game that shipped to in a box for $70. That's our new category. We'll see you next year for a game that shipped to in a box for $70. Does anyone want to pull me any which way on this?
Yeah, I'm also not too strong on a lot of these, so I can't.
I mean, you can join me in voting for Baldur's Gate 3 because it's neon whiting a bunch of people.
Neon whiting a bunch of people?
Deleting their save files.
You know what? Yeah, okay. I'll put my fourth vote in there. Just because, that's you got to think. That's got to be one of the 3 powerful spires of your game shipped too early is deleting a save file. And with that done, we're going to give it to Bob.
Sure, Star Wars. When I went through this, it was still running kind of bad after months, and I had, I think, 2 or 3 crashes by the end of it. Not great. Would not suggest playing through it when I did. Firewall Ultra, I looked over there. I watched you play this. That was not okay.
No, it's really not. We're talking like I can't even describe to you all the different layers that this thing's just not done.
Yeah, you can just look at it, like not even in VR. Just see it what's pushing on the screen and be like, that's not right. Why are you moving like that? You don't move like that in any other VR game.
Yeah. You're like undead levels of slowly moving.
Mm-hmm.
When the match ends, it doesn't always put the camera in the correct spot for the match ending. So sometimes you're just in a wall. Because, think Call of
I saw
Duty.
That. Yes, that was bizarre.
The brightness levels are so maladjusted, seemingly not adjusted at all, because this dev had no idea how to do HDR in the least, that everything's almost pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad.
Third vote's going to Atomic Heart.
Really? You had problems with Atomic Heart?
I just remembered every time I got stuck on geometry and was like, yep, that sure was not ready.
So you got one more vote.
Yeah, a lot of these, like you guys are saying, just shouldn't have shipped. Like, would not have been the same game if they had been delayed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a perfect tie between game that if they got more time, it would have been by mass a different game, like Call of Duty. Or a game that shouldn't have shipped, period, like Redfall.
Yeah, and I'm kind of stuck here between Redfall and Baldur's Gate 3.
You should join aggro on Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah,
I think I will. Yeah, because deleting saves is not something it should be doing.
Yeah, I've also heard numerous cases of other glitches with, like, not even an Xbox version, like PlayStation and PC.
Mm-hmm.
Would a game that had a bunch of glitches and wasn't polished really get Game of the Year from a bunch of outlets? You know what's funny? Gaming has been so weird for the past several years. That hasn't been like a constant thing, but you go back towards 2013 and I feel like it's nonstop.
Oh yeah, back then when it was like, but Dragon Age Inquisition and Skyrim, they're both incredible games.
These games are so big, they have to be the Game of the Year. And it's like, yeah, but it deleted your save, bro.
Doesn't matter.
I don't remember that.
Tweet pops up next to their face as they say that. Okay, and now it's Aggro's turn.
Well, I would have to be some kind of psychotic maniac to not, at this point, vote for Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, that would be really fucked up.
I guided you all into it.
You idiots!
Because in addition to the save thing, there was also the, I guess they didn't call ahead and tell Microsoft that there were boobies in the game.
Oh, God.
Getting people banned from Xbox.
I feel like that's on Microsoft, because it sounds like that's not...
Oh, yeah, it is. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, they flat out, they issued a public thing like, well, yeah, even if it's in the game, even if we allow it on the console, you're not allowed to upload video of it on our thing, even if it's private. They specifically said, no, that wasn't automation. A human looked at it and decided you banned.
The funniest tweet I saw about that is someone quote tweeting it with another screen cap tweet where it's like, some people are having sex at the park. I got so mad I got in my car and ran over them. That is absurd.
Jedi Survivor, as has been stated, is the textbook example of this category. Firewall Ultra, absolutely. And I had a perfectly flawless experience with Atomic Heart. I didn't fall through shit, and I got all the weapons in the game, so I don't know what.
Motherfucker.
You guys are talking about.
Wait a second, real quick. Chris, what did you play Atomic Heart on?
Xbox.
Bob, what did you play Atomic Heart on?
Xbox.
I played it on PC. Oh no. What if...
Yup. Yes, 5, baby.
Oh my God.
Okay, you know what? I'll take that. I didn't have to pay $70.
Yup. Who's the real victor here?
Man, this year was fucking great for aggro paying $70 for video games we did content on.
I mean, I got the rocket launcher, but I had to pay $70 for it.
This sort of microtransaction DLC must stop.
You know what? I think I'm good.
Okay. Well, we have one unanimous vote. It's for Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Uh-huh.
And then a three-way tie between Atomic Heart, Baldur's Gate 3, and Firewall Ultra.
I think Firewall Ultra should be a second place.
I think it should too. It's just completely fucking negligent.
From the way you describe it, it sounds like more time wouldn't have helped it.
No, they could absolutely have fixed, like, okay, spawning into certain places should work right.
Right.
It should be up to the standards of their last game.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, when it comes to this game, it's not they were incapable of making this. They already made a Firewall game and it was good. It was like stellar. People really enjoyed that game. People who are like competitive top tier players in that game were in the lobby with me playing this, flabbergasted at how terrible it is. That was almost all of my conversation I had across the hours I spent playing this at launch. Just people who were pros from the first game just being like, this is not done. Aiming doesn't feel right at all. It's the only VR game where, like, it's one of the only high-profile shooter games in VR where the aiming just felt completely incorrect, to the point where people were making diagrams to show the devs, like, this is what you did wrong, fix this. I bet if I Google it, I can find that real quick. It just, to me, comes across as they could have done better because they have literally done better in the past. There are things that Sony as a publisher should not have let them ship in a state of. I think that is possibly the most deserving out of all of these.
The impression I got from the descriptions was that rather than this is a complete game that was done poorly or with a lack of skill or competency, this feels like someone just booted the file when it was halfway done.
Right, and where the studio immediately closed, it feels like it was a fire sale thing of like, we gotta get this out the door so we can shut down and make some profit.
Well, the weird thing is they didn't immediately close. They got like 4 months or something. And they had another project they were working on.
Right, but it was
getting
very
rapidly
short.
patched after it launched.
Yeah, no, it seems like there was a plan here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to come back to it after enough patches came out where it seemed like it was solid. But then they shut down the studio.
Right.
Because they were working on some other thing, and then they blamed AAA in the VR space as not supportive, and I honestly don't buy it. God, yeah, I'm just looking at all these comments from when it came out. Oh, man. The one thing I can say easily, right? Like, even if Chris doesn't want to join me on the side of voting for Firewall Ultra in this next round, people didn't walk away from Baldur's Gate 3 or Atomic Heart saying this game isn't done. Ergo,
I walked away from Atomic Heart saying that.
I mean, not to this degree. You didn't.
There is the point where it's like you go here and there's some side quests and a main objective. Then you go here and do some side quests and a main objective. Then there's 4 other things on the map, and none of those have main objectives. Go here and end the game.
A cutscene didn't end, and then you were in a wall.
That's true.
There is a title screen.
Okay.
There's a lot of elements of Firewall Ultra that are almost surreal to describe to a human, because if you were to interface with them yourself, you would perfectly understand immediately the level of not done it is. But because there are so many and they're so pervasive, it's literally just best described as like what Agro was saying and what Bob's been saying. This was like not even a public beta. This was a studio internal beta. Mm-hmm. You know, this isn't something you would ever put in the hands of the consumer.
Yeah, if nothing else, it should have been closed with NDAs.
Right? Not the kind like Justice League where you let them talk about how shit it is.
Right?
Anyway, let's... I wish I could swing harder for Baldur's Gate right now. Because I know people who've played it And obviously on Xbox, major problem.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, so we have Atomic Heart, Baldur's Gate 3, Firewall Ultra with a 3-way tie of 3 votes each in the first wave. Final Fantasy 16 with 1 vote. Goodbye Volcano High with 1 vote. Redfall and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 are yet again left out of the conversation. Batman Arkham Trilogy on Switch. Well, let's just say that was as good of a plan as Tim Sweeney's plan to have half of the PC marketplace. We're going to get 2 votes each. Everyone's cool with these 3 being the 3 we discussed, right? We're all clear that this is far and away what the winners and runner-up should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go ahead and start with Chris.
Atomic Heart. We get 2.
Yep.
Yeah, Firewall Ultra, you swayed me.
Yes. Bob.
Yeah, it's got to be the same too.
Aggro.
I think at this point, I am going to blame the Series S more than Larian Studios and vote Firewall and Baldur's Gate.
I have a Series
sorry.
X.
No, I mean, for
for the
Atomic Heart.
problems.
yeah, I mean, Firewall and Atomic Heart.
Okay. I was like, oh no, that statement could have gone either way because only the
Yeah.
Xbox and PC version had a problem. Obviously, I'm going to vote for those 2. Bob?
Yeah.
You seeing the same thing I'm seeing?
Uh-huh. So we just need to discuss, okay, what's first? What's worse, Atomic Heart?
Firewall Ultra should be second. That
Yeah.
seems much worse overall.
To be clear, to anyone who hasn't played this game, who hasn't seen it, which is most humans ever, I'm sorry. This wouldn't even be here if it weren't a Sony-published game marketed multiple times, like PlayStation blogs full of it. State of Plays, it showed up multiple times. There was so much hyping it up. If this was just made by some VR dev.
Yeah, and just released some random day of the week.
Right.
Yeah.
then it just wouldn't even occur to me to put it here. Unlike the next category, which has something you might describe as that. Okay. Well, it's going to do it then. You know what? I feel good with Baldur's Gate as a runner-up.
Right.
Because I think everyone can agree it would be great if that game was incredibly polished and never deleted its saves on Xbox. So, the game that shipped too early award goes to Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Second place going to Firewall Ultra. Third place going to Atomic Heart. And runner-up, Baldur's Gate 3 on Xbox. But really, Baldur's Gate 3. But especially Xbox.
Right.
It's almost like they rushed to get that out to announce it at the Game Awards.
And then forgot to announce it at the Game Awards.
Which is easy to do when some psychopath gave you 30 seconds to lament the dead
Yep.
and talk up your game. I'm so excited for next year at the Game Awards. I need to know how they course correct from this course correct.
Right.
Fuck it, you all get
It'll
5 minutes.
It'll be like
Yes!
45.
45 seconds? Oh, yeah. Then it's fine.
Call of Duty comes up to accept any award, and they get 10 seconds. Shut up, bitch! You made Call of Duty. I'm like, come on.
It gets even worse. Jeff is just on stage with a Rich watch. He's tapping the entire time you're doing your speech, no matter how fast
And there's
it is.
like a dedicated camera. So,
Yes.
so like if they start taking too long, it'll start cutting to that camera super zoomed in on Jeff's face.
His eyes getting more bug-eyed as he stares at them.
It's just
There will be a joke with the Muppets about a hook.
oh my God. Well, that's it for that category. Next, the sister category to game that shipped too early. Game that shouldn't have shipped. The nominees are Everybody, 1, 2, Switch, Gollum, Goodbye Volcano High, Koi Koi, Love Blossoms, Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch, Redfall, and Starfield. Do you want 3 or 4 votes? What do you guys think?
3, I think, is good.
Yeah, that should do it.
Okay. I'll let Aggro lead. Oh, wait. Does anyone want to make any specific arguments? Because I want to make a specific argument for Koi Koi Love Blossoms.
Go for it, man.
Go for it. I should say I was going to vote for that first because we are once again trusting the horrified ramblings of Dan, who leapt headfirst into the
a
dark
grenade.
night of VR and came out with this ghost story.
Dear listener, Koi Koi Love Blossoms is ostensibly some sort of visual novel with romantic undertones about you being anime you, who comes back to a hot spring resort thing in order to find two hot ladies running it with an older lady who is like, kind of a nanny to you. The problem with this game is that none of it functions at all in the way you would want, because they have crudely made something that was much closer to just a fixed camera perspective sort of visual novel that locks you into screen spaces into VR, which is the biggest leap that even Space Jam Overreach could not correct. We're talking, you need to crane your head weirdly around a room to find a thing to click to move to that end of the room. Pausing makes you 1 foot tall and floating in midair, which you can only notice because you can't see you. It's VR. You only notice because now everything's huge and it's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, because they didn't know how to make a pause screen in VR. The whole thing runs like shit. It looks like a Vita game because the resolution's practically 540p. It is horrible in countless ways. And when you finally do get to move with the stick, you are moving a fourth the speed of smell. It is horrible. A nightmare. This was the only other game this year I bought yet again for $40.
My God.
That I went, I just don't want to buy a video game ever again. I don't want to trust any game ever again. This game could have been base, stupid, horrible, pandering, fan service garbage, and I still could have had a fun time with it. But it is not functional or solid in the way you need it to be. It should not have shipped. This should not have a VR mode. It is that bad. And just to be clear, the VR mode is a separate thing from the normal mode, which already had shipped on other platforms. Like, I think on PC, this has a non-VR mode that came out first.
Oh, okay.
This is clearly something retrofitted to be VR because the dev went, people are buying these visual novels in VR. We can make ours that too. And no. I'm done. So, Agra, I hear your first vote was for that.
It was. Second, I'm going to vote for Starfield.
Wow.
Oh?
Yeah. More time wouldn't have fixed that game. Because at its core, it is hollow and cowardly and undeserving of its premise and just designed to be disappointing.
Wow. It does seem designed from the bottom up to take advantage of none of Bethesda's strengths or what people know them for. Like, it seems calculated from frame one to break the curse that Bethesda has cast on the industry to make them think their bad games are actually good. Like, it seems like, let's take out the things that cause peak guys on Giant Bomb to say you can't criticize anything about the game, it's big.
Yeah, I thought Agro's core argument was actually going to be about how the core of this game, the engine itself, is not prepared for the endeavor they set upon, right?
Right. But instead, the endeavor they set upon is something they should not have done.
And that's kind of fascinating because as I saw this as a nominee, I was actually like, I couldn't imagine voting for that. But now having heard Agro's impassioned speech, I'm like,
I actually put that on a few days ago. It was like, I feel like this might call out to Agro, be a call to action.
I honestly, I saw it recently. Like, when did that get on there? Should that be on this list? I don't know if that should be on this category. And then, like, the longer I went, because it's not your typical, this game was super broken, it shouldn't have shipped. No, this game was broken ideologically.
Spiritually.
Like, yeah,
Right.
This was a project that if you weren't going to do this right, you should not have attempted it.
Like, this is that kid on the Call of Duty episode, not the Call of Duty, the Law and Order episode that Kyle MacLachlan has to kill because he's inherently a sociopath. That kid is Starfield.
what? You have one more vote.
Oh man, there's some heavy hitters on this list, but I think I'm going to have to give it to everybody 1-2 switch because we have proof that they knew They had previously decided to not ship this and then shipped it.
Absolutely fucking true.
Like, at some point, I've heard some people be like, yeah, but it got any amount of sales. And I'm like, at what cost, though?
Right. That's not any reason to be okay with this. Those people were robbed.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Right?
I thought it was going to be funny bad, not just terrible. Keep in mind, this is the game where they didn't understand how Jackbox works. So it was like, okay, hand the Joy-Con to that guy in another state you're playing with on your stream.
Yeah, because you're playing with 90 people. You got them in your house, right?
Yeah. That's what this game does constantly.
Yeah. Time for a mini game based on response time. We're going to play over the internet with 40 people.
Nightmare. Next, we're going to go to Bob.
I got to prop up Mortal Kombat on the Switch.
Uh-huh.
There's no world in which this should have shipped.
It was hard not to vote for.
You have characters whose whole mechanic is that they can transform to other people mid-round, like Reptile goes between human and reptile form.
Yeah.
He often just doesn't load in. You get Reptile with no head.
Yeah.
It absolutely cannot do any of the streaming stuff it needs to do cutscenes. So you are just getting massive hitching while going through the story mode, and it's unreal.
Which is funny because the cutscenes are pre-rendered videos.
Yeah, the cutscenes are pre-rendered videos, but
and
then
it's
Hitch
trying
is
to
trying to load in the background.
And it has plenty of time to load the next level most of the time.
Uh-huh.
And it still just has frame drops in the YouTube video. It's basically trying to play back. And eventually, the game gets so rapid fire with the loading segments that we spent more time loading by like a magnitude of 4 or more.
Yes.
Than we did playing the game, and it became hilarious.
Right.
That is a $70 Switch game.
Mm-hmm. Also, it never hits 60. It's usually running between, I don't know, 20 and
40?
40 maybe.
Yeah.
It feels like it's down at the 10s most of the time, though. It's, yeah, truly just should not have been made. I don't know why they thought it was okay.
Yeah, this should reflect poorly on WB, he said, in a year where WB has done many, many things that should reflect poorly on them.
Everybody want to Switch. We've already went over it. Everyone knows.
Everybody knows. Everybody already done switched. Now, as much as I would love to push you towards Koi Koi Love Blossoms, and I really feel free, I think there's an argument to be made for Gollum.
Oh, I absolutely see that.
Gollum, the best analogy for what Gollum is, a time traveler discovered what 7th gen games were and went to go work at THQ during the PS2 generation to make it on the GameCube. It is the most weird SpongeBob tie-in game possible version of a 7th gen game where it's like, okay, it's the level where you have to collect the beans. Gollum, go collect the beans.
I would say Gollum shouldn't be voted for because it fulfills an important ecological niche of being the first game announced for next gen that always fails and kills the studio that made it.
So what you're saying is Gollum is the Wicker Man. We need Gollum to burn.
Yes.
It would have been really disappointing if Gollum just didn't release. Like if it became one of those 7 or like next gen nightmares. Like, yeah, with this awful looking thing that we couldn't even get out.
But here's the weird thing, okay? I feel like, and I could be wrong, I would love to have historical examples thrown at me in comment section or live chat. I feel like the cool ones don't ship. The ones where you go, why the fuck are you trying to get me excited for this, are the ones that ship way too late and are half-baked.
Right.
And that's what Gollum is. At no point was I like, oh, sick, a game about Gollum. Finally, the PS5 is going to bring some real justice to this game exclusively focused on Gollum that is going to have stealth and action.
Finally, we can do it. We can achieve the dream.
I'm just saying, maybe if it was a Tom Bombadil game.
Yeah, that guy. Everybody loves him.
Everybody loves Tom Bombadil.
Hi-ho the Dillio.
But actually, I'm kind of stuck between Redfall and Starfield because Starfield there is a level of game you shouldn't release because it will tarnish your company. And it feels like Starfield's exactly that. But maybe...
Starfield is that not even in like the you made a hideous travesty way, but in the like, you somehow, like, you made a game. It's like if a magician did a show where he explained all his tricks and then expected people to still show up to his magic shows. It's like, you shouldn't have done that.
For me,
that's a bad decision.
For me, it feels like that scene in the second Matrix film when the Merovingian gets all those guys to fight Neo and he blocks the hit with the sword and he bleeds slightly and they go, see, only human. That's Bethesda. They just proved they don't make nothing but 10 out of 10s. Because like Redfall, whatever, Starfield is now casting doubt on Elder Scrolls.
Right.
That's true.
It's hard. Because one of these fundamentally should have never been made 100%. Redfall was such a mistake. But then the other one casts a shadow.
Like, it would have been better. There were some insane analysts saying they should shelve Starfield for a while and make Elder Scrolls 6 first, and they probably should have actually done that. Because there's no way to turn Elder Scrolls into Starfield.
Right.
But after Fallout 4 and then Fallout 76, like 12 years between Skyrim and Starfield, and Starfield like seems to just didn't hit anybody.
Yeah, it's so complicated because like, and with Redfall, we have just documentation saying we shouldn't have shipped this, we shouldn't have made this. Basically, that's what everything points to. Even Phil Spencer's out there being like, yeah, they screwed up.
I mean, Phil said they screwed up, but he also said that there's no way they could ever finish that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Phil Spencer said it should be canceled.
Yeah, he launched it.
It was weird when Phil entered that fugue state and started talking fatalism and how he had no choice in any of this.
It's really weird where Phil Spencer showed up and was like, what's the point of living if we're all going to die?
And they're like, sir, we wanted to talk about the Series S.
So I'm going to show my vote on Redfall. But I am obviously open to discussion going forward about Starfield.
This is a really evenly split category. This is deeply horrifying. We're going to Chris now.
Everybody wants to switch.
Except that one.
Yeah, I know. It's the one unifying candidate.
Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch. Because that's...
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I'm going to jump these 3 cars on my bicycle. No, you're not. So why are you trying?
It's going to be like a ramp, right?
It's going to be so sick. They're on fire. Oh, you really shouldn't. You really shouldn't do this then.
And when I looked at the list and saw Starfield, I thought that was farcical, but the more we talk about it, Starfield.
This, my job is not easy here. I believe everybody wants to switch. Because one, I've been talked out of Gollum as it is the Wicker Man.
Yes, we need its dark power.
We just trapped fucking Gollum in the Wicker Man and lit him on fire. He's like, no. And obviously, my horse is not at all hitched to Goodbye Volcano High. Which means my 2 votes have to go into either these 2 games that have 1 vote or these 2 games that have 2 votes. I'm going to start. Oh, which one is? Oh my God.
Right? This isn't easy. We made a hard category here.
Yeah, this is nightmarish because even if I just ignore half of this list and go Koi Koi, Love Blossoms, Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch, I'm like, there's something to be said for you being like, yeah, I could fit a grapefruit in that. Okay, here's my thought. Here's my logic. This is my guiding logic. Maybe it's wrong, but it's what I'm going with. I want to vote for Koi Koi Love Blossoms.
Understandable. You played it.
You paid for it, so that's certainly
I'm
fair.
And I'm still upset. But think about how many people paid
be upset.
$70 for Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch.
Right.
That is also like, that's why that one's the most like, you shouldn't have made this. This is just to scam people. Go fuck yourself.
I mean, like, if that's your metric, you bought Koi Koi Love Blossoms and got blindsided. I feel like if you bought Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch, you maybe should have known better.
Actually,
that's not fair to say at all.
What's
Mortal
up,
Kombat, the previous game,
Mm-hmm.
11, ran on Switch fine.
Oh, yeah, no, that's actually a great version of that game. The problem is that this one was clearly made from the ground up for next-gen consoles. But here's the thing. You should have known that Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch would be terrible. Is complicated because the trailer on Nintendo's YouTube channel is made from a PC.
Yeah.
And you could tell because it had Steam shit in it. 2, that we start needing to get into philosophical debates of Switch guys will never be able to understand the Switch isn't capable of running some types of games, and some of them are even children and have an excuse. But yes, it's true. I have the faculties within me and the knowledge within me to realize that Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch was not a good idea. And then the videos got out, and I knew it wasn't a good idea. And then I bought it because it was funny that it wasn't a good idea. Part of me is like, what if I put my third vote on Koi Koi Love Blossoms? Because they all learn it. This is hard.
Yeah.
This is the worst. Why did I go last? Because, maybe this would be slightly less frustrating going first.
Yeah, because then you don't know. People haven't drawn lines in the sand yet.
And that's that's whatever, and I'm not voting based on that, but it is so frustrating to be like, this is the very last vote, and it's the hardest, and I'm holding up this process as I sit here and go, Redfall was a single-player studio with no real multiplayer experience in a meaningful capacity, forced to make a multiplayer game as a mandate from the publisher level. Starfield is a game that absolutely missed every single strength Bethesda Games has from almost a design document level. And Koi Koi Love Blossoms absolutely is such a miserable experience that every moment you are just faced with the worst existential feeling that it is impossible to enjoy any aspect of it so quickly.
Dan, just not to interrupt, but you made one mistake with Starfield. They didn't have a design document for that game.
Then Todd just comes in the office and
no, that's not a joke. They didn't have a design document for that or Fallout 4. They just started making it.
Evident.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. You know, normally when you rely upon that studio name goes here, magic, that's to get you through the very end of it.
Yeah.
Not to hope that there was a salient decision at any point. Oh, Christ. I'm gonna look something up. I refuse to take place in these discussions. I am voting for Koi Koi. I miss my fucking $80 of terrible VR game purchases this year. Shit like that is going to shake faith in VR, and frankly, I'm just heartbroken. The actual cheesecake that is that game, the actual just fucking rote trope pile that is the setting, the characters, the everything could have been funny and enjoyable as a fucking visual novel. But instead, they made it this nightmare fucking VR experience. My vote is going towards that, and we are ending wave 1 of voting. Let me rank these, and then we can debate them, because obviously this doesn't lock it in anyway. However, I would like to note that everyone voted on Everybody 1 2 Switch.
Some things are locked in. Not everything, though.
I know someone's going insane watching this or listening to this and just being like, no. Everybody 1 2 Switch sold, which means it should have shipped. And I'm like, do you know what you sound like? You sound like an executive.
Did it sell?
It sold somewhat. Probably sold good enough to cover its production costs.
Oh yeah, a nickel.
True enough.
It was really expensive to make that ice cream game 8 times.
3 times, right. That's when it got hard, that 8th time. Okay, so far, we have 4 votes on Everybody 1-2 Switch, 3 votes on Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch. A lot of Switch coming up. Shipping a Switch game this year, maybe not the best idea. Koi Koi Love Blossoms with 2 votes, Starfield with 2 votes, and Redfall with 1. Now then, I think we can lock in the top 2 where they are. Does anyone think we should shove that around, or Mortal Kombat 1 should go lower?
No, that seems right to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I will move it up. So now we're talking about third and runner-up. We're going to do 2 votes each. Is everyone okay with me just deleting Starfield's? Because this will actually change the number of votes, trust me. Since 2 years ago, I've done my best effort to actually be like, now, Dan, count the number of votes and make sure it isn't the same number going in that you're deleting. Because 1 year we did that. I'm like, wait a second. 2 votes each between Koi Koi Love Blossom, Starfield, and Redfall. Bob.
Starfield and Redfall.
Shit. Koi Koi Love Blossoms. Redfall. From a fucking get-go. No. You fucking assholes. Everything wrong with this industry made in that one game.
Yeah.
Aggro.
Starfield and Redfall.
Chris.
Starfield and Redfall.
If you all spent $40 on the Cheesecake game in VR, you would understand.
On the game that looked like it was going to be made out of sticks.
Yes,
it looked like a fake game.
But you can make a game that looks like that in VR and it's still a fun time. I didn't need that thing to be like a next-gen experience. I needed it to not fucking break down. Like, it's not functional in the least. Anyway, we all voted for Redfall. Does anyone want to make the argument that Starfield definitely is more deserving, despite the fact we all voted for Redfall?
I'm honestly just surprised y'all came with me on Starfield this far. Like, I was beginning to feel like this feels like a personal vendetta I have against this game.
I also have a personal vendetta against Starfield, to be
Like,
fair.
It is, like Chris said, they didn't have a design doc. They just started building it because they were Bethesda. So they already knew what the gameplay was going to be. They didn't have an idea in mind. They just picked an aesthetic, and they made science fiction that says nothing, which I believe is a sin.
You're right. Yeah, that is actually deeply repugnant for the genre.
But it's the other side of the coin with Redfall, where everything industry-wise, this was a perfect brew of this is what happens when you do this.
Yeah, your multiplayer-focused game that is a story not worth telling, that isn't done. Wasn't this also 70 or was it 60? I know no one paid money for it because of Game Pass, but did this
I
game...
think both of them were 70.
The Redfall was 60.
No, Redfall's sitting here $70.
Oh my god.
Even on PC.
Yeah.
So it literally is everything.
Right. Only unlike Star Wars, it isn't acceptable after 6 months. It just never will be.
My God. Okay. So the order as it currently is everybody 1-2 Switch, Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch, Redfall. That's our 1, 2, and 3. And then runner-up, Starfield. Do you guys just want to do that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, that sounds
That
good.
works for me.
I'm okay with Koi Koi disappearing. I got a VR game that personally stole $40 from me this far, and that feels good enough. Thank you for the support in the first wave aggro. Okay.
Felt morally right.
Well, the game that shouldn't have shipped award goes to Everybody 1-2 Switch, with second place going to Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch, third place going to Redfall, and runner-up, Starfield. The next category is Most Hideous Creature. This category features mild spoilers for Alan Wake 2, Disgaea 7, Endless Monday, Dreams and Deadlines, Pikmin 4, Pizza Tower, and Spider-Man 2. The nominees are Agent Nightingale from Alan Wake 2, Demodor Opener Hatless from Disgaea 7. Electric Pet Fergie from Disgaea 7. Zinebot 6000 from Endless Monday. Horace Show Pony from Everybody 1-2 Switch. Eternites Man from Eternites. Zendara from Immortals of Avium. Reptile from Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch. The giant 12-legged nightmare horse from Paper Beast Enhanced Edition. Creeping Chrysanthemum from Pikmin 4. Ochi from Pikmin 4. Fake Peppino from Pizza Tower. Scream from Spider-Man 2. And Miles' last costume from Spider-Man 2. I didn't realize his costume was a creature.
I guess. Actually, it's one of the few suits in that game that is not a creature.
True enough. We have a lot of nominees here. I'm going to go ahead and say we get 5 votes. I'm going to be super generous. Let me go ahead. This creepy chrysanthemum image that I got from the internet does not do the thing justice. This is a redesign over the Pikmin 2 version, and this version's much more horrifying because when it is in the ground, its default state, it just looks like flowers. And then it extends the flower petals and its eyes open and it stands up out of the ground. And it actually is the scariest part of this game when I first ran into it. I was like, oh no. Ochi, he's horrifying, and that's intentional.
Yeah, I don't think you need to say anything. You can look at that and just be like, where's the nose? Why is there only 2 legs?
Mild spoilers for Pikmin 4. Its tail gets replaced by a leaf at some point. That's not normal. They just shrug it off when it happens. They're like, oh, what's that about? Huh, I wonder. And I haven't beaten the game, and I'm horrified that it's going to turn into moss, which is the other Ochi that's green. That thing makes me uncomfortable. But I'm going to go ahead and nominate Ochi here as the umbrella Ochi paradigm, right?
Okay.
Because moss is green Ochi in a sense. I like that there's so much going on in this image of fake Peppino because there are 4 fake Peppinos on the screen. 5.
Yes.
There are 5 fake Peppinos on that screen. And then 1 on the one right after that. Oh my God.
Yeah, it turns out fake Peppino is pretty terrifying.
Oh yeah. No, that dude's horrible. I think we need to explain Zendara.
Yeah, I wasn't going to nominate her. But then I found pictures of her actual actress that she's based on, and they just were like, well, we're making her a tough, buff girl. Make her face worse. Like, make her look weird.
Yeah. No, it's really weird that they were like, we got to redesign her face because she's buff.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, maybe from a BMI angle, but that's not like what you did there.
No, instead, I don't know exactly what you've done other than make her creepy.
What's up with Eternites Man?
You have to look at him there. He's just the most plain creature ever made.
I mean, true. I'm seeing that.
That's it. Sometimes being that plain just makes you disgusting.
That's fair.
Electronic Pet Fergie is deeply disturbing.
I added this as I was looking for images. I was just going through my Disgaea 7 images to look for the hatless Demodor. But then I found this. I took a picture of it during the game because it was the creepiest thing I'd ever seen. It's a Furby, but modeled after the main character of that game, Fuji, and made into a horrible monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only here for... This is it. This is literally it. It's just this one gag.
Left an impression.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have 5 votes. I'm going to go ahead and let Chris start us off.
Fake Peppino. Fake Peppino is real hideous. Images don't really do it justice considering some of his attacks are things like throwing his head at you. His brain on the stem remains on his neck.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a ton of fluid animations. It's really horrifying.
And you guys didn't get to see this, but if you go in to fight him again after beating him, it doesn't show Peppino versus Peppino. It shows him as fake, and you get that.
Oh.
Deeply unpleasant.
Holy shit. That's a lot.
Uh-huh.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Fake Pepino, may walk away with this category because his skin's so loose.
Yeah. The giant 12-legged nightmare horse from Paper Beast.
Yeah, that thing's...
If we're ranking this on which thing I would just fucking run from, like if I saw it on the horizon, I don't care if it's a mile off in the horizon. I'm going the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's fair.
You got to start early, okay?
Yeah. Its eyes, the way they extend out of its face is hard to show in an image. It looks like aquatic life. Like, I don't know if there's a word for that type of tube eye.
Oh.
Yeah.
Electronic pet Fergie.
Yeah, that thing's not okay.
No.
Reptile.
On Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch.
Yes. And Horror Show Pony. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, something else that we can't describe in a picture is they animate that horse head.
In After Effects. Like in post-production, they make him wink and eat a sandwich.
He eats a carrot.
It's just the same horse mask that like Tom Green used over a decade ago, but now they've edited it with After Effects to wink.
No.
Yeah, oh God. Okay, aggro.
I'm also going to throw my first vote to Horace Show Pony. Like the first time I saw him, I'm like, wow, that's kind of an old meme. But the more I encounter him, the more he gives off the vibe of like one of those movie demons that doesn't have a rule set. You're just fucked as soon as you start interacting with it.
And then what? And then he kills you. Yeah, that's not a movie, man.
Well, he said you moved while he did it.
Child out your window, just in the distance. You moved.
I'm going to vote for Ochi because the placement and size of its eyes make that thing a predator.
Uh-huh.
It also has the exact same eye size, shape, placement, and expression as the chainsaw guy from RE4.
Yes. Put the bag on his head.
Give him a chainsaw. Do not give Ochi a chainsaw.
I'm going to put one vote on Scream. I have always hated Scream's design. It is some straight up 90s, now make a girl one.
But isn't that based in this case?
No.
In a game like Spider-Man 2, where the material representation is so thorough, and you can't tell how it would feel to touch that thing, because what the fuck is it even supposed to be? It's not okay.
You have 2 more votes.
I'm going to go for the giant 12-legged nightmare horse from Paper Beast.
Yeah, you are.
Because even after, like, you get into that game and it becomes like, oh, that's a familiar thing that I can look to and not some fresh hell. It's you still don't feel quite safe around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you feel safe about that around that thing, maybe there's some issues.
The rest of the planet is so fucked that there is a brief moment where you're like, that is the familiar one, so I feel more safe around that. But then the terrors crept back in for me.
I think my last vote is going to have to go to the horrible dark mirror that is fake Pepino.
Damn straight.
Okay. I'll go next. I'm gonna give it to the giant 12-legged nightmare horse from Paper Beast. I wish I could have gotten a better picture of it, but VR games make that complicated.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, the designer of this game did upload a lot of their stuff to one of those online 3D graphics portfolio websites where the crab one is fully the 3D model.
Oh.
So you can actually turn it around and look at it and disable levels of shading. And that's cool. And I would have loved to nominate that crab because the detail put into it is completely unreal. But that horse, man, it is so bony and tendril-y, and its eyes are... and it looks you in the eye. So I'm gonna throw my first vote on that. Second vote, fake Pepino. Fake Pepino is downright terrifying. Fake Pepino becomes the size of a hallway and tries to eat you. Ochi. Look, I get it. Ochi is helpful. He's great. He's also horrifying. And Pikmin fans, you need to hear yourself out. Are you really going to say a thing in Pikmin isn't horrifying and hideous? That's kind of the entire tone of the visual design of Pikmin.
Right, but they're so normalized to it, they're like, no, this is actually very cute.
Even Tosh is like, no, that thing's horrible. That definitely is eligible for most hideous creature. I'm going to have to give it to Electronic Pet Fergie. Yeah, because that thing is not, that is yet another monster or horror movie thing, right? I'm cursed if I've seen that.
Yeah, it looks alarmingly like one of the things from Gremlins.
I'm going to have to give it to Creeping Chrysanthemum from Pikmin 4 because I was not ready for that. That was not okay. We played 4 other Pikmin games this last year. That didn't prepare me at all. That was scary as hell. And with that, my votes are up. Bob, it is your turn.
I have to show in on Electronic Pet Fergie. He's too much. It's not all right. Reptile. I can't get over how bad he looks. And how much it was just like, yeah, he will load in and not fully load in. So you have Headless Reptile.
Headless Reptile's really funny, though.
Yes, but it's just also hideous.
I wish we had recorded the VOD for that in 4K. I wish we had a pixel perfect upload of this fucking Mortal Kombat 1 on Switch playthrough.
Fake Peppino. Yeah. I gotta stand with Sagar on Scream. That's the way they modeled the hair. I don't know what it's supposed to be, and it's just really gross looking. I assume it's like a wet dog.
A wet dog that had some hair product?
No, a wet dog that's been formed into the shape of hair.
Oh no, there's a whole dog in there?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's awful.
That is awful.
It's just kind of furry on the outside, but the rest is meat.
You have one more vote.
Horace Show Pony.
Okay, let's get this over here and get it tabulated. Okay, so looking at it now that it's been sorted from top to bottom. 4 votes, unanimous, for Fake Peppino from Pizza Tower. 3 votes for the giant 12-legged Nightmare Horse from Paper Beast. Horace Show Pony with 3 votes. Everybody want to switch? Electronic Pet Fergie from Disguise 7 with 3 votes. And 2 votes for Reptile from Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch, Ochi from Pikmin 4, Scream from Spider-Man 2, and only 1 vote for Creeping Chrysanthemum from Pikmin 4. I assume we're all okay locking in Peppino as the most hideous creature. Fake Peppino.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't expect it, but I am.
The messed up thing is the images almost don't even do it justice. It is funny that that image specifically of the rematch, Fake Peppino, has eyes like the horse. But maybe worse because it's supposed to be human. So we'll lock that in for number 1. Does anyone think, because the next 3-way tie, and thus the next 3 slots are on Giant 12-Legged Beast, Nightmare from Paper Beast, Nightmare Horse from Paper Beast, Horace Show Pony, and Pet Fergie, Electronic Pet Fergie. Does anyone think Reptile, Ochi, Scream, or Creeping Chrysanthemum should break up into this higher echelon? Because I think Ochi should.
I'd be okay with Ochi. I feel bad that I didn't vote
I'd
for
be
Ochi.
okay with Ochi, but the others I think are fine getting cut.
Okay. Just to be clear, Reptile, you're fucking lucky.
Yes. If there were another year.
Legit. If there was any other year, man. Okay. We have 4 things to vote between. I'm going to go ahead and say we get 3 votes. That should do a good enough spread. The vote is yet again between the giant 12-legged Nightmare Horse from Paper Beast, Horace Show Pony, Electronic Pet Fergie, and Ochi. We'll begin the vote with Bob.
Horace Show Pony, Fergie, and Ochi.
Chris.
Fergie, Horace Show Pony, Paper Beast.
Aggro.
12-legged horse, Fergie, Ochi.
Ochi, Fergie, 12-legged horse. Okay, so that'd put what a weird sentence. That would put Fergie in the lead. It's like a fake toy your horrible movie makes up. Everybody loves Fergie.
It goes great with the Turbo Man.
So it's funny that you say that.
Uh-huh.
They made a sequel to that movie that features a fake toy. And that came out somewhat recently, like in the past few years.
Oh.
And it is...
Yeah, it stars Larry the Cable Guy.
It stars Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh my God.
And some wrestler.
And it wasn't recent. It was 10 years ago.
Okay. I thought it was the last 5. Silly me. But yeah.
All right.
So there you go. Whereas Turbo Man seems fully thought through. The thing in the sequel, apparently not at all. Okay, so that would elevate Electronic Pet Fergie to second place, with third place and runner-up split between Ochi, the 12-legged horse. Ochi, the 12-legged horse. We improved them.
Yes, just combine them, and obviously that would be the worst thing.
It would. It really would. We'll do one vote each to split Ochi and the 12-legged horse from Paper Beast. Aggro.
God damn it. These are such different kinds of fear.
Yes. Well, you could lean into which one's the most hideous.
Yeah, which means to instill fear from the old French. You know what? There is a sort of alien majesty to the 12-legged horse, and Ochi is just a nightmare. I'm going to vote for Ochi.
Yes, there's like extra dimensional space horror that comes from the Paper Beast horse. And Ochi's a badass a trip. I'm more scared of the horse. I'm going to vote for the horse. Chris.
The battle between Ochi and the horse is like, what's scarier? The creature that is obviously the thing in disguise, or the thing when it is no longer in disguise? Yeah, Ochi and the horse.
Okay, so you're saying your vote is going for Ochi?
Yeah, Ochi.
Okay. Bob.
Yeah, unlike you guys, I'm not nearly as like, I don't think that the 12-legged thing is as horrifying as all that for some reason. Like, I get it. I've seen it up close. I'm pretty sure I brought the VR headset on, and it never freaked me out as much as looking at Ochi does. So I gotta give it to Ochi.
This is really funny because I'm like the creeping chrysanthemum scared the shit out of me. Ochi is fucking hideous, though. It is very intentional. I understand this vote. I will stand by it. Absolutely. I no contest for me. So, the way this list is currently is Fake Peppino, Fergie, Ochi, and the 12-legged nightmare horse. Everyone agrees that's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes most hideous creature of 2023 in gaming Fake Peppino. I hope the Pizza Tower guy's proud. Second place goes to Electronic Pet Fergie from Disgaea 7. Third place is Ochi from Pikmin 4. And runner-up, the giant 12-legged nightmare horse from Paper Beast. It's tough. In a different year, Horse Show Pony and Reptile from Mortal Kombat 1 are duking it out with the space horse.
Yeah, but I feel like if Horace Show Pony had placed, we might have summoned him.
That's a good point. I want to break things up a bit. You know, we just discussed character designs that evoke certain energies, so I'm going to push this next category down one more category. We'll cover that in a moment. Making the next one we're going to talk about, coolest thing in a game. This is going to contain massive spoilers for Alan Wake 2, Armored Core 6, Atomic Heart, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Final Fantasy 16, Octopath Traveler 2, Pizza Tower, Silent Hope, Sonic Superstars, Spider-Man 2, Super Mario RPG, Look out, there's spoilers for this really old game. Technically, yes. Super Mario Wonder, Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So if you just absolutely do not want to get spoiled on things from those games, tune in for the next category, timestamp in the description. The nominees are Alex Casey from Alan Wake 2, Reality Warping from Alan Wake 2, Initiation 4: We Sing from Alan Wake 2, being able to take Swinburne's deal and kill him anyway in Armored Core 6, the thing that was blatantly Cubile from Armored Core 6, Crispy Critters from Atomic Heart, Parrying from Resident Evil 4 Remake, the Titan Fight from Final Fantasy 16, Casty shouting Axe Attack from Octopath Traveler 2, Peppino has a gun from Pizza Tower. It is, most video games that wouldn't even register. When the Princess Leaves in Silent Hope, Cyber Station Zone from Sonic Superstars, Frozen Base Zone Act 2 from Sonic Superstars, the Venom segment from Spider-Man 2, Super Boss from Super Mario RPG, Wonder Seed from Super Mario Wonder, Dedicated Loyalist Screaming Button from Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun, the final boss of Zelda, specifically the Dragon segment from Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and your first trip into the depths in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I brought a few of these that I know no one knows anything about, so I'm going to talk about those real quick. When the Princess Leaves in Silent Hope. Okay, so the entire conceit of the game Silent Hope. No one can talk except for the princess who has a voice, because one day the king disappeared into the chasm and took all of the evil with him. But in order to prevent any discord in the kingdom from that moment on, he took the voices of everyone, because it was the voices that gave them the ability to cause mayhem amongst themselves and all of this gossiping and stuff that tore everyone apart. So you spend the entirety of this game only hearing this one voice that is the princess, who talks nonstop anytime you're in town with all these mind-numbing barks she has about what do you think the best vegetable is? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? I'm gonna sing a cheerleader song about how to craft this armor. And when you beat the game through the short loop, not the true ending, but the short loop ending of this game, she and the king are rejoined as spirits and reborn as birds and gone, and everyone has their voices again. And now your base camp is full of every character being able to talk, and they have to awkwardly get along as they have spoken for the first time.
Weird. All right, that's pretty cool.
It is so fucking cool. It is like this really crazy moment to me, as it's just like I'm hearing these characters' voices for the first time 20 hours into this game, and they're all just like, man, the princess is like gone. You know what I like? I like this thing. Do you like that?
Let me quote the princess.
Forgot to tell her the best vegetable.
If only we knew. It is a really crazy good moment that I didn't expect to land like that, because I thought, the ending of this game, you're going to get your voice back, but they have a deeper ending to it, wherein you have to fight some extra dimensional being. It's pretty cool. That guy's sick.
As you do.
He's the embodiment of agony and discord.
Okay,
one
good.
might say.
They usually are.
They usually are, yeah. And every time you revisit town, you just have all these great, awkward conversations. Just every shop you go to, it's a different person talking now, because each of the main characters runs a different thing. Like one of them's the farmer, one of them's the metallurgist, one of them's like whatever. One of them might be a chef who might be a shadow assassin. Maybe. Possibly. But it's this really neat moment. In Cyber Station Zone, you become voxels, and all of the Sonic characters become voxels, and it looks immaculate. But then it keeps changing you into different forms as you pass through the different light gates. So at one point you become, and I talked about this on Big Thing during the spoilered segment, you become basically what looks like something between a rabbit and a bunny, and you need to follow these lines to go up vertically, and that's pretty cool. But at another moment, you become like squid jellyfishes made of voxels and just float around. So Amy Rose is now a pink blob that's just undulating through the level. And it keeps doing this over and over. It's a really cool moment that I did not expect because literally I don't know how we ended up in cyberspace. I also talked about this next thing on Big Think. Frozen Base Zone Act 2 is literally Fantasy Zone. It becomes a shmup where you're basically in a tiny pod that is reminiscent of the exact ship from Fantasy Zone. You can control which direction you're aiming. There are 8 enemies to kill.
Huh.
It is so directly that it's really amusing. And then you do a boss battle like that. It's really delightful and really fun. Really cool. I'm trying to see if any of the others of these are hyper specifically. I put them in here. I don't think that is the case. But I would like to talk about Peppino Has a Gun. That's a really great moment at the very end of that game. Where there's just like, yeah, you played all through these levels with the grabbing mechanic, running up the walls, and all these other things, ways to deal things. This level is called War, and it's just a slaughter the entire way through with a tight timer as you blast every enemy in the face with a gun.
Yeah,
a shotgun. They give him a giant shotgun, and at the top right of the screen where they normally show his face, they show him as Duke Nukem.
Oh my god.
It is really good. Who wrote in Alex Casey? Would they like to make this argument? Because I could, but I've said enough.
I did, because it's really funny that they're like, well, we technically don't own Max Payne, so just do it anyway.
Yes.
Call him Alex Casey.
I'm not technically Max Payne. I'm Max Payne.
I was genuinely surprised, that he did not sit there and make the same joke from Max Payne where he was like, I was trapped in a video game. It was the most fucked up thing I could possibly think of. Initiation 4 is completely amazing. That is a top moment in gaming.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
For the listener who's probably curious, this is an entire sequence in the weird realm in which Alan is trapped, which is a musical number projected onto all the walls and an actual legitimate level of the game you have to play through and fight off enemies. As a live action, Alan Wake sings along with the band. It is much like the Game Awards thing, but it's integrated into the game in such an amazing, hilarious, and outstanding way, like really breaking new ground. When we have been saying this feels like what Kojima should be making now instead of Death Stranding, it is stuff like that.
Yeah, like you'll even get to the end of a playable segment and you'll have gigantic projections of Alan Wake himself or other band members pointing you towards where to go next.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so brilliantly done.
Yeah, they do a really good job of, if you dick around too long in one section, the song will just go into a soft loop until you get to the next section, and it'll pick back up. It's very well put together.
Yeah, and it is really good because, as Bob was saying, they're like pointing, and a lot of the times they'll just nod and look at the camera in a way that's just so cheeky.
Yes. In one of my favorite lines later in the game is directly related to this of eventually the band members go into the dark place. And then Alan's like, yeah, I saw them in my musical. I don't think they're actually getting out.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, they went in to get Saga. Okay, that's good then, right? I don't know. They came in while I was in there and they just sort of helped me on my musical. And then they're like, oh, never mind then.
Right, because he says it to the FBC agent and she's like, okay.
I'm a lot less optimistic about this.
Right. Then there's also the reality warping. Who wrote this in specifically, and what would you like to highlight?
Me. It's just really cool to instantly be able to change the layout of whatever you're dealing with, like whatever area you're in. Power of the SSD, baby.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the place like the Mind Palace and the writing cabin,
and where you
the Mind Palace and the writing cabin, and just when you're playing as Alan Wake, and you're like, I added this thing to the story. The setting is now different.
Oh, yeah, when you throw up the light or you change the word for the room.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool stuff.
Absolutely amazing and really showcases the power of next gen.
Yeah, it's rare to see something that is equally technologically and thematically cool.
Exactly. Alan Wake's really, really filling out this category.
It's almost like it's an incredible game.
It's almost like that, I guess. Who wrote in being able to take Swinburne's deal and kill him anyway?
I wrote that because I think it's very neat that they included the option to, I'll stop attacking you to take the deal. And then as he tries to leave, you just shoot him and he dies instantly. and then your AI companion's like, did you learn to be that ruthless from the handler?
Ibis is sick as hell. The Ibis 01 Cell 240, which is just Cubile boss fight.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That is a top moment in that game.
Yeah, I was thinking back on it. I wrote it in here because it was like, that was absolutely the coolest boss fight in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wrote Crispy Critters?
Certainly wasn't me. I think that was there almost at the start of the year.
Okay, I thought you would put it there.
It makes sense in most mind-numbing bark. In fact, it should be in that category. I think it is. One moment. Let me go check. It is. Okay. I know why plot-wise someone might write it, but since no one's owning it, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Parrying from Resident Evil 4 Remake?
I don't think it needs much explanation, but it's really sick that you can parry anything in that game, basically, if you time the knife right. And it feels real good when you do it, and they have a whole knife fight about it.
The Titan fight from Final Fantasy 16 is Chris, I assume?
Yeah, the Titan fight is the best part of that game. It's big and cool and has a lot of phases and really elevated my expectations for the rest of the game. And then none of the icon fights in the rest of the game were nearly as good. the whole 2 more that are in the game.
I'm like, it was. I hope it was 3. Oh God,
no.
Yeah,
no, you don't turn in. You don't get an icon fight against Odin. It's just a QTE.
Let's see. We covered all that. Oh wait, what's up with Casti shouting Axe Attack?
So in Octopath Traveler 2, your characters do a lot of talking during combat in really cool ways. Like, all of their special moves have specific lines that go with them. And, they're usually cool shit like, calculations complete, before you rip off a giant spell. They also talk about, like, if you break an enemy on your turn, the next character up is like, oh, good job, such and such character. Like, there's a lot of cool dynamic chatter. And then in the midst of all that, you have Casti, who is your apothecary character, who is the white lady of the team, who has an axe attack that hits all enemies. It's one of the rare weapon types. It's really useful. And she just yells axe attack and then rips on the entire enemy team. And it brought me so much joy every time it happened.
Who nominated the Venom segment, and where do we draw the line?
I nominated the Venom segment, and I would say it's the segment where you play as Venom.
Okay.
Right. That makes sense. That was a really cool segment.
My favorite segment is the ending, though, because it has Venom with the dragon wings. And that's the sickest fucking thing. Like, I might just write Venom with the dragon wings in as its own. Jesus, what a fucking sick design.
I never expected to play as Venom. I certainly didn't expect an extended sequence where he has every mechanic and also you have a boss fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot more than what was expected.
Yeah, it feels like one of the few different ways that game shows that they can do things closer to how it was before we had giant open worlds, where you could have a segment where you play as a person. Super Boss, I assume, is Chris?
Yep, that's Kulex 3D, because I thought that was incredible. That was exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah, Aggro, did you know about Super Mario RPG? You know about Kulex?
Like I remember Kulex, yeah.
Okay, so the first time you fight him, he starts talking about how his 2-dimensional form in your 3D space is horrifying or whatever, and how different the dimensions are. You beat the game, and after doing a bunch of refights with every other boss, you finally fight Kulex again, and he now has a fully articulated 3D model that is Final Fantasy style. It is so good.
And he's like, I have taken the power of your 3D realm.
The Wonder Seed. How wondrous is the Wonder Seed? I don't
yeah, I put it in here because it was just every level they come up with a new use for it. It's hard to think of any things in gaming like that where they come up with just a completely new way to use this mechanic in basically every stage. You have a few repeats, but it's a ton.
Because it's not even a mechanic. That thing is a button to radically change what the game is.
Yeah. Sometimes if we're on the wall, like it'll turn into you could
top down.
Yeah, top down control a game.
Yeah, that was the most amazing one. Still stands out the most in my head as absolutely stunning because you hit this Wonder Seed and this normal Mario game, which is a 2D platformer, becomes a top down sort of dungeon walker almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so crazy that shift just happens and you're just dealing with it.
Yeah, and then just other ones that just mess with your idea of what a Mario game can be in general. It's like, yeah, then the pipes just start moving like a weird snake. I'm like, okay, sure. I guess we're doing that.
I guess that just happens now. Dedicated loyalist screaming button from Warhammer 40k bolt gun.
One of the greatest mechanics of the year is the fact that there is an entire button in this first-person shooter that does nothing but make your character shout Space Marine shit. Just in the middle of combat, you'll like raise a fist and be like, I am your doom! The son of Gilliman knows no fear! It's pages and pages of these quotes. There's just always some new For the Emperor shit pouring out of his mouth. It's great.
Next up, we have the final boss of Zelda, specifically the dragon segment.
I put this on here because I was just blown away by how they made this work. It's literally you is Link riding on top of the light dragon and fighting the Ganon dragon. And every time you fall off, they have programmed it properly so that the light dragon will come around and catch you.
And see, other video games, it would play a cutscene where that happens. Here, it happens completely seamlessly.
Mm-hmm. It just felt so like no one else on the planet could make this work. And Nintendo had just put it here at the end.
Like everything else in that game, it's like if this was in any other game by any other publisher, it would be janky as shit. But nothing in Tears of the Kingdom is janky. It's insane.
Tears of the Kingdom should almost earn its own category of game that shipped exactly on time. Game that is completely fucking done. And then your first trip into the depths. I think Chris wrote this.
No?
Oh,
Nope,
okay.
that one was me.
Oh, okay. I was like, I know somebody beat me to it. Hey, Aggro, you go ahead.
So you're playing Tears of the Kingdom, you finish that long sky tutorial, you hit the ground, you're like, all right, now the game's really begun. And then like 10 minutes later, you find this giant hole in the ground and you drop in and you fall and you keep falling and you're still falling. And then you hit the depths and you see what's down there and you open your map and you realize the scope of what this game actually is. And it's mind-blowing.
The depths are so amazing mechanically, even, bereft of the rest of that, that could have been its own game.
Mm-hmm.
It is a truly amazing moment when you hit that down there. I went to go write this into the category after I beat the game, and I was like, somebody beat me to it. Absolutely amazing moment. That is when the game went from like, I'm having fun with this. It's all right to, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
How was this hidden? How did no one, oh my God. This is the most indulgent I will be for the entire game of the year. You get 6 votes. Whoa.
I mean, they're all really good, so I get it.
We're going to go ahead and start with Bob.
Initiation 4, we sing. They sing now.
They sing now?
They sing now. That really did just blow me away.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is going to be cool. Oh, this is really cool. The song is incredible. How did they do this? Final boss of Zelda. The Cubulate fight in Armor Core.
You have 3 more.
My God. There's so many things. Reality warping in Alan Wake. The first trip to the depths.
1 more.
Parrying in RE4.
We're going to go to Aggro next.
Your first trip into the depths. Initiation 4. Even though I feel like personally Dark Ocean Summoning I liked more, but fuck me, Initiation 4. I will stand Casty shouting axe attack until the day I die.
I mean, you're not wrong. It is really good. Because she's your healer. You don't expect axe attack.
You have 3 more votes.
The reality warping in Alan Wake 2. The dedicated loyalist screaming button. And the Venom segment from Spider-Man 2.
I wish I didn't know the Venom rap. I wish I was just bereft of the knowledge that existed, so that way I could read the name Venom and hear the name Venom and not think of that rap. Okay. I'll go next. I'm going to say When the Princess Leaves in Silent Hope, because a game of that budget, a game where the story isn't that up front and center, I was surprised that it could have a moment that actually put me on my back foot, and that it kind of continued the loneliness of the princess not being able to talk to anyone through the other characters not being able to talk to her anymore, and also having to get along. Like, that actually landed really hard in a way I didn't expect. First trips into the depths, absolutely mind-blowing top video game moment. Same goes for Initiation 4. Both of those were... It moved the boundaries of what I imagined as possible in gaming. I think a large part of why I really enjoy Tears of the Kingdom lies in the depths. To be clear, and I have no problem saying this because we already declared spoilers for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I was really close to just putting Zelda turns into a fucking dragon on this list. Because holy shit. But it's fine. It's fine.
There's always best plot twist.
Ooh. This is really tough. This is really, really tough. I'm going to have to go with Peppino Has a Gun. Because keep in mind that before this moment, right, you get that gun for one short segment of one level that is also amazing and hilarious in its own right, because it's the Five Nights at Freddy parody level. And you spend the whole level avoiding an unkillable foe, multiple unkillable foes, all of them being Five Nights at Freddy parodies. And then you get the gun to blow them up as you try to escape the level as the level self-destructs. So between that and War, absolutely amazing how it plays out. And now I'm just going to start screaming instead of making any decision because I only get 2 more votes. And look at this category. That Cubile boss fight is absolutely sick, especially the part where you think it's finally destroyed and then it takes off the chains, the inhibitors unlocked. That was a moment where I finally felt like the game was actually fully challenging me.
Mm-hmm.
And that it didn't take me a really long time to beat. It was such a level of engagement that I really prayed that the DLC, if they make any, will just build upon that and be even more absolutely top tier sicko content with really cool mech designs. That in and of itself is the strength of Armored Core 6, that it has really awesome bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Other Armored Cores have bosses, they have big mechs you fight, but this is the one where, and you know, a lot of people are like, well, it's Dark Souls boss designs, but it's Armored Core. And I get what they're coming from, and that is not a terrible way to describe it. These are bosses with moves built into them, patterns built into them.
Right.
And this is the coolest among them all.
The boss has 2 phases. It's like in Dark Souls.
Oh, you're right.
You're right. No. What makes it a thing like Dark Souls is it has a command grab.
Yeah. And the hit detections may be completely wrong.
It's only a Souls boss. If it rushes at you with a sword, you're sure you're dodged, and then you're impaled on the sword, and you have to see an animation that kills you.
I'm going to do a thing that dudes are never supposed to do. I'm going to completely cross cool and cute, and Cyberstation Zone from Sonic Superstars is going to take it. Because, oh man, those transformations are so sick, and I never expected an official Sonic game to do stuff like that. That is so adorable and so awesome, so good. I'm sad I couldn't also vote for the Fantasy Zone thing because that completely floored me. And the final moment of that sequence is you fly up to like a death egg and just abruptly blow open the wall in like 3 bullets. They act like it was literally nothing to do and it just explodes out. It's so good. Okay, and that's it for me. Chris, you have the final votes for Wave 1.
Initiation 4. Peppino has a gun. I really like the Venom segment, so the Venom segment.
Venom.
Reality warping. I'm sorry, Alan Wake 2 is just too cool. Cubile. And Bob convinced me on Zelda, the final boss. I did think multiple times, like, do I need to, like, is there a convenient updraft to keep pushing me higher if I deploy the gliders? Like, no, that she just comes and gets you. We made the game correctly.
It's like, but no one else has ever done that before. Yeah, well, we thought we would do that.
That can't be right.
Like, what? No, you're not allowed. Okay, let me get that typed in, sorted, and back in the document so that way we can find out what the hell's going on here. Because there are so many votes. Okay. Ordered by number of votes. 4 votes for Initiation 4, We Sing in Alan Wake 2. 3 votes for Reality Warping in Alan Wake 2. Cubile from Armored Core 6. Your First Trip into the Depths from Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. There are 2 votes each for Peppino Has a Gun, Venom segment, and Final Boss of Zelda, specifically the Dragon segment. 1 vote each for Parrying from Resident Evil 4 Remake, Casty shouting Axe Attack from Octopath Traveler 2, When the Princess Leaves in Silent Hope, Cyber Station Zone from Sonic Superstars, and the dedicated loyalist screaming button from Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun. Just so you know, Aggro, I really wanted to vote for that.
It's a compelling thing.
It is. I feel like we actually did learn a lot even from just Wave 1. I'm of the opinion we lock in Initiation 4. It seems like the thing we're most unanimous on, given we all voted for it. But does anyone want to argue up something else?
Not to number 1.
Yeah, that literally is number 1 moment in a game this year for me.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go ahead and lock that in at number 1. We have a 3-way split for this next tier. Did anyone want to elevate something else up to that tier?
I want to put Venom up because I felt bad for not being able to vote for Venom.
Okay.
And that was a really good segment in that game.
I want to put up Peppino Has a Gun.
Yeah, I would also like to argue up Peppino Has a Gun.
Okay, so then we would be talking about voting between these 5. Is that okay?
Fine with me.
Yeah, that should work. I don't think I'll be able to get us all on board for Final Boss of Zelda.
I know you at least won't be able to get me because the actual gameplay of what you do isn't great. Like, once again, and this sure would have been something we talked about in a 3cam video about that game if that happened. I don't enjoy the combat in that game at all. So the method through which you're fighting the different elements of the dragon isn't fun, but the fact they pulled it off is insane.
Right.
It's like absolutely, we were told for decades this wasn't possible. Man, good luck to Nintendo making a sequel. Like, making any Zelda after this is going to be rough in the eyes of the public. Okay, well, get that Venom. Okay, so we have 5 options. We're going to do 3 votes each. Aggro, go.
The Reality Warping, Your First Trip to the Depths, and Venom segment.
Bob.
Cubile. First Trip to the Depths. God, I don't want to not vote for you again, Venom, after I just got you up here. But Reality Warping's really cool.
It is pretty sick.
Yeah, Reality Warping. Sorry, Venom.
You know, Bob, I know you're really tied up on this Reality Warping, but what if you voted for Peppino Has a Gun?
I mean, it was kind of cool, yeah. I like these other things more, though.
Oh, jeez. Chris.
Reality Warping. Cubile. Peppino Has a Gun.
Peppino has a gun. First trip into the depths. Cubulay. Fuck. Shit. Okay, Peppino has a gun and Venom segment don't have 3 votes each, so I think it makes sense to drop those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Bye, Venom. Bye, Peppino has a gun. Okay, so we got 3 things left: the reality warping, the Cubulay, and the first trips into the depths. I think number 2 is the first trips into the depths. Here's my reasoning. The Cubulay thing, really sick moment and cutscene. Really great boss fight. But it is not the insane moment that is the entire... There's a third layer to the sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole other 50% more game here than I thought. And it has these interesting darkness mechanics and this amazing aesthetic and these incentives to wander in the darkness versus being careful and going and getting a thing to shoot on an arrow to illuminate things. There are so many different things about the depths that are absolutely amazing. And that first trip in is mind-blowing, especially since my first trip in was diving into a volcano opening. Like that giant mountain where there's a hole in it was my first time in. And I'm like, holy shit. To me, that's number 2. Here's my argument against reality warping from Alan Wake 2. That is cool. It is an amazing thing thematically and mechanically, but I do see a version of that game that is basically as amazing as it is without that entirely. Unlike Zelda here. Zelda, you take out the depths, and I do not enjoy that game anywhere near as much. You take out the reality warping in Alan Wake, where you change the environment by throwing a light up, and you change the word that you attach to the thing to change the thing itself. And compared to a lot of the other things in Alan Wake 2, that does not affect me as much.
That's fair. I think that it's a really cool mechanic and a very important thing in that game, but it probably not as important as the depths.
They did really hide the depth, so I get it.
Right. I enjoyed the caves more in Zelda, but the depths are more important.
Yeah, the caves are really neat.
Mm-hmm.
But the depths have the whole optic nerve light spire thing, which is like a really brilliant twist on the Watchtower. You know, the Ubisoft Tower moment. Completely revolutionized to be like, no, it's not a fog of war. It is darkness. Literal darkness.
So I'd be cool with the depths being number 2.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
If I can get the depths to 2, I will be okay with Cubulay falling to runner-up. Because at some level, I have, I can recognize, like, the reality warping is not only key to the narrative and absolutely amazing in the ways it lets you get more introspection into Alan Wake and his environment and these other ideas, and mechanically brings them into the physical realm for that character. I get that that's more important than, yo, that's the Cubulay. And this boss fight rules. So I think that's the order. Are people okay with that?
That sounds good to me.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Although it would behoove me to point out that not pushing the dedicated loyalist screaming button higher is technically considered heresy.
First, gave you your part 1, Deuteronomy. Now this? Are you serious, man?
Look.
Well, it's a fascist religious empire. They have a lot of things you're not allowed to do.
It's kind of the point.
I'm just saying Aggro's bringing a lot of baggage into Game of the Year. A lot of do's and don'ts.
The Emperor protects, man. I don't know what to tell you.
At least he did before he got put in that gold toilet.
Look, now he sustains the webway and guides us through all of the horrible bureaucracy that does all those horrible things. But not the Emperor. He's cool.
Well, that makes coolest thing in a game for 2023. Initiation 4, We Sing from Alan Wake 2. With second place going to Your First Trips into the Depths from Zelda's Tears of the Kingdom. Third place, Reality Warping from Alan Wake 2. And runner-up, IB01 CEL 240 Cubile boss fight from Armored Core 6. This was a sick year in gaming.
Yeah.
I wanted to vote for Alex Casey so hard.
Mm-hmm.
The next category, Best Trailer. The nominees are Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, release date announced trailer. Grand Theft Auto 6. Immortals of Avium, trademark. Official launch trailer. Phantom Blade 0. Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, reveal gameplay trailer. Sonic Superstars announced trailer. South of Midnight. Super Mario RPG reveal trailer. Super Mario Wonder reveal trailer. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom official trailer #2. Visions of Mana. Dragon Ball, sparking, ! 0 uppercase, announcement trailer. Look, at the point where Dragon Ball Z gets at, well, fun fact, that is the only one of these that's not in alphabetical order. But more importantly, at the point where it gets to make its title that, : should be allowed. I'm gonna be savage. 4 votes. That's what you get. You should feel lucky for it. I'm gonna go ahead and do mine first. Sonic Superstars. Didn't see that coming. That announcement. That's a really good trailer, really solid. It sells you on exactly why you would be interested, what characters are in it, what it looks like, what the core idea is. It's a really solid trailer. Super Mario Wonder reveal trailer. Do I have to say it? Super Mario Wonder is the Alan Wake 2 of 2D platforming games. Visions of Mana. This literally is the please stop praying for my grandfather. He has become too strong of game reveal trailers. I was sitting here, a Mana fan, burned because these Saga fans were eating so well. And then this trailer hit and it was a complete reversal of fates.
It's almost like your viewpoint initially was also ridiculous.
Look, they got a lot of Saga games, and they were kind of nice, and they were bringing some back, and I'm just saying,
all of them combined have less money in them than
That's
Visions of
not
Mana.
what's important. Look, they could have just not given Mana any money ever again and just been done with it.
Like, Trials sold really well. Never again.
It wouldn't even be the first time I feel like they did that. Mana always seemed like a series on edge. In Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer, here's why. Okay, you play 7 Remake, and it's like, this is great. I love the stuff in this. I hope for the next one. The scope's so big. How are they going to deal with that? I'm real nervous. Then you play Final Fantasy 16, a game with no mini games, and you go, oh God, please don't tell me Rebirth's going to be like that. Please tell me it's going to have Chocobo racing and all these things, and Golden Saucer and these big open areas. That is Final Fantasy VII. You can't skimp on that. In that trailer, it shows you it's going to be that. It looks like it's doing it, man.
It's sure that the every cut of that trailer sure shows an entirely different city or biome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the first 30 seconds of that trailer shows more unique environments than is in Final Fantasy 16.
And they show a black chocobo walk up a sheer cliff wall to be like, yeah, no, like it's still all terrain.
It's a fucking horse in Skyrim.
A lot of correct decisions right there.
Yeah.
They also show Cloud on the Segway, which was delightful.
Yes, which was hilarious and delightful. And they show the beachside stuff. Like, that trailer was the affirmation to me. That trailer was it's going to be all right. So that's why I'm voting for that. Those are all my votes. We're going to go next to Aggro.
Phantom Blade 0. I rewatched that trailer this morning and did the exact same amount of hooting and hollering that I did the first time I saw it during whatever show it was at. That trailer is awesome. Every shot in it has something cool and intriguing. There's like gameplay looking footage mixed in. It's just, it's a treat for the eyes. South of Midnight. There is a certain threshold of cool an all CG trailer has to be, I think, in order to be, especially for a new IP.
Mm-hmm.
to be really considered a good trailer, and this crosses it. This is interesting. It's intriguing. It's everything a first taste should be. I'm going to go for Grand Theft Auto 6 because it's, I mean, just on quality alone, like this, the cut, the edit, the production, these guys are really, really good at it.
I can't help but notice Agra has one more vote. Bob, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that Immortals of Avium trailer not the one where they coined the famous line, sigil up?
It sure is. It's an important thing.
A thing we later found out he's not even the first person to say that in that game. That's someone else's catchphrase and he steals it for the moment.
Yeah.
What the hell were they thinking of that?
know.
What the hell were they thinking? They made a catchphrase and then they made the main character steal it from someone.
It's not even like it's, oh, they died and he's carrying it on. It's
Right,
like,
which
no,
is
they're
normally
fine.
how that works, right?
Right.
But no, it's just he's an asshole who's uncreative.
Yes.
Canonically, I guess.
God, that trailer's disgusting. I think I'm going to go for Tears of the Kingdom official trailer number 2.
Bob.
That Mario RPG reveal trailer really just like, it was another of those moments of like, it can't be this. Like, there's no way they're doing this. Oh my God, they're doing this. Which is always fun. That Tears of the Kingdom trailer was really good. Very thematic. Let you get a taste of what that game is, but not actually tell you anything. Visions of Mana. I don't even know if the trailer's all that great, but there's just something about a brand new Mana game with this much budget. You can just be like, oh no, that was great. I don't care what it actually showed me. It was really cool.
Showed me everything I needed to see. There was a flaming.
I think that Final Fantasy VII trailer is really great. It just has that last 10 or 20 seconds where it's like, hey, remember all that stupid stuff? Yeah.
Wait, don't worry. There's going to be a twist. And Bob's like, I don't want there to be one. They're like, okay, see you in February. Bob's like, hey, come back.
So instead, I'm going to vote for Phantom Blade Zero. That really was like, is this real? Oh man, if it is, it's going to be sweet.
Yeah, no, if that trailer is real, that could usher us in an era of like, make cool action game that look good but linear, right? Oh man, I hope it's real. Okay, final round of voting goes to Chris. Chris, you have the floor.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Visions of Mana. Super Mario Wonder, because at first I was like, oh, it's another shitty new Super Mario Brothers game. And then I was like, actually, it's not, and we're not calling it that because we know.
We know what the fans of those games don't know, and everyone else does.
Yeah, Phantom Blade Zero.
Okay. We're going to get this organized and start the second wave. Okay. Tied with 3 votes each is Visions of Mana and Phantom Blade Zero. 2 votes each ties up Final Fantasy VII Rebirth release date announced trailer, Super Mario Wonder reveal trailer, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom official trailer 2. And then 1 vote each going to Grand Theft Auto 6, Sonic Superstars, South of Midnight, and the Super Mario RPG reveal trailer. Gentlemen, I would like to bring up Grand Theft Auto 6 to the 2-vote category. Would that be permitted?
I don't have an issue with it.
As the one who voted for it, that's good with me.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Does anyone else want to bring up anything else?
Immortals of Avium.
Okay, we're just, it's gone now. How do I say this in a way that's appropriate? Do we really think Phantom Blade Zero is either the best trailer or second best trailer of the year?
I do.
I'd be fine with just putting it in the mix with everything else.
It's a really good trailer, but I'm fine with knocking it down and letting Visions of Mana win.
Obviously, I'm okay with that. Are other people okay with Visions of Mana locking it in? Because my thing isn't to just kick Phantom Blade Zero out of the lead so that way Visions of Mana is uncontested. It's more of unreal that Phantom Blade Zero's up here.
It's a really good trailer.
Really good trailer. I'm willing. I don't. Visions of Mana should win over it just because it's another game we won't know whether or not it's real until Black Myth Wukong comes out.
Yeah, I feel
that's fair. Yeah, okay.
I'm fine with putting Visions and just giving that first place, and then the rest can fight it out.
You know what, though? I'm okay giving it to Phantom Blade Zero. How about we do the voting on the rest of this, and then we start viewing it as, is Phantom Blade Zero better than whatever?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to get 2 votes each. These votes are between Final Fantasy VII Rebirth release date announced trailer, Super Mario Wonder reveal trailer, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom official trailer 2, and Grand Theft Auto 6. I'll start the voting. Grand Theft Auto 6 and Super Mario Wonder reveal trailer. Bob.
This is rough. On the merit as a trailer, I have to give one to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Honestly, that is a really well cut trailer. Like, divorced from any content that may or may not be in that game. I can't deny that.
Yeah, they did a masterful job of cutting a trailer showing you all the things you want to know and see, and doing it in a way that's so seamless and elegant.
Right. It doesn't at all feel clunky in doing it. It's a pretty short runtime for what they show, too.
Yeah.
And I'll give it to Mario Wonder, you know?
Aggro.
Grand Theft Auto 6. And yeah, Super Mario Wonder.
Chris.
Final Fantasy and Super Mario Wonder.
Okay. Looks like Super Mario Wonder reveal trailers going up to 3rd. And currently, Grand Theft Auto 6 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth are tied. We may just want to give them both runner-up. Because honestly, even I could go either way, but I feel strongly there's something about Grand Theft Auto 6 being like, it doesn't get me the most hype because I've had the organ removed from my body that lets me get hyped about anything that doesn't come out in the next calendar year unless it's Metroid Prime 4.
For me, Grand Theft Auto 6 falls down a bit because there's so much. We made this Florida Man thing that actually happened, and we put it in the game. And that's the trailer, and there's so much of that trailer is that it's like that's neat, but it's like 80% of the trailer.
Kind of, but at the same time, that's kind of the essence of Grand Theft Auto. You know, you watch the fucking Vice City trailer, and it's like, hey, you remember Miami Vice? you ever watch?
You see Scarface?
You ever see Scarface? This is pretty cool, right? Our game's that.
Right.
And this is like establishing, we're doing Florida, but we're doing it like in the way that Florida is and also is respected as.
We've had dual runners up before. I'm fine with doing that.
Yeah, I feel like we're so evenly split on this.
Right.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and do that then. Let's talk about the rest of this, though. That seems correct to me. Visions of Mana, Phantom Blade Zero, and Super Mario Wonder. That seems like the correct pecking order to me. Just because Super Mario Wonder is in 3rd place because it doesn't... How do I put this? Phantom Blade Zero could very much be exactly real, right? There's not enough there for me to doubt it. But also what they're pushing forward is something we're not seeing anywhere else in the level of wuxia, sort of kung fu and action combat. I think that trailer's really well done for showing me what looks like a really exciting time, and that needs to be celebrated. And Visions of Mana is something I never dreamed possible in my entire life.
Yeah, no, I think this order's good.
Yeah.
Aggro.
I would change it, but have no problem accepting it as it is.
What would you change it to?
I would just switch 1 and 2, but because I have that same personal preference of, oh no, the Phantom Blade thing is more of the shit that I like instead of Visions of Mana. So I'm cool with this. I understand it. It works for me.
Okay.
Man, if only Visions of Mana showed more Wushu Kung Fu.
Could you imagine?
I mean, that is categorically true. All things could have been improved by a little
Yeah,
more.
I gotta be on aggro's side with this about that one. Yeah.
You know, usually in a Mana game, there are a number of playable characters that have very different combat styles. There is a chance.
Will one of them have like an 8-foot red and black Dao?
Who knows? The trailer really leaves you open to that possibility. But yeah, okay, so we're okay locking this like this?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, the best trailer of 2023 goes to Visions of Mana, immediately followed up by Phantom Blade Zero in second place, Super Mario Wonder reveal trailer in third place, and Two Kings tied for runner-up, Grand Theft Auto 6 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth release date announced trailer. It is at this moment, I must admit, Secret of Mana was my first video game, and I am absolutely biased. Okay, moving on, now that it's locked in. Content warning for the next category. These scrimblos might be very scrimblo bimblo, so if you have an allergy, be aware. The nominees are Cheshire from Bayonetta Origins. Wait, what is the full title again? It's like Bayonetta Origins, Cereza
and the Demon
Forest? It's something Forest, I thought.
Maybe.
Whatever. Lily from Discronia Chronos Alternate. Pirilika from Disgaea 7. Suisen from Disgaea 7. Tiger-chan from Endless Monday, Dreams and Deadlines. Tamamo Aria from Fate Samurai Remnant. Sami from Fire Emblem Engage. 808 from Hi-Fi Rush. Pitch Dark Hook the Great from Honkai Star Rail.
That's sure a MiHoYo name.
Oh my god. Pom Pom from Honkai Star Rail. Backpack Korok from Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Ochi from Pikmin 4. Brick from Pizza Tower. Mario from Super Mario RPG Remake. Bunny from Star Ocean 2R. And Lapis from Trails into Reverie. This is me at my most cruel. We get 4 votes.
Oh my god, all right.
Okay.
I'm taking a closer look at Cheshire. I can't help but notice Pirilika here in her own illustration became a weird sharp featured thing.
She turned into Kaiji from the anime Kaiji.
She sure did.
Uh-huh. These things happen in Disgaea. You just have to roll with it.
Yeah, like in every other one, somebody turns into a Baki character in Sky 7. In every other, here's our jokes for the next episode.
Tell me about Suisen.
He's a little robot guy. He can perfectly predict the future, except when he can't.
He seems to have a blade for a unicorn horn.
Yeah, he's a robot.
That's how robots be.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Have you not seen anime?
Not all of them.
He kind of sucks because he keeps predicting things constantly and will always give you the numbers.
That's pretty great. We also have Tiger-chan from Endless Monday, Dreams and Deadlines, which may have been nominated based on the plush. Possibly. Tell me about Tamamo, because Tamamo is basically still human, but very Scrimblo.
Yeah, she is a tiny little weird fox girl who's always acting like she's like really dazed and out of it, possibly high. Yeah, she's in love with you, kind of, but also with anyone, seemingly. And also, they released I believe it was a New Year's animation, but it might have been right before New Year's. where she tries to unsheath her sword, and she's basically tasting her tail because you can't reach it. It's literally tied to her.
If she could do that.
Yeah, I don't believe she's playable, and she's just weird and dazed at all times.
Her servant class is Rider because she explicitly tries to take advantage of everyone.
Yes, her alleged love for you does seem to be like a way to let you live, or let her live with you because she needs a house.
That's pretty good. Sami, I have not played Fire Emblem Engage. This is the Shrine Spirit thing, correct?
Yes.
Dude, that is just computer generate SCRIMBLO.
Yes.
Yeah, that's sure how that looks.
You can dress it up even.
Yeah, I've seen it with shades, and I was like, man, this year barely started, and this SCRIMBLO dude's locking it in.
He just shows up in a cave, and you're like, what's your deal? And he's like, what's up?
Yeah, that's it.
808 is the cat robot from Hi-Fi Rush. Pitch Darkhook the Great is literally nothing like I imagined based on the name.
Yeah, she is the leader of the moles. Half her SCRIMBLO energy comes from her appearance, and half comes from her voice.
That's dangerous.
So if you'd like to take a listen to the link I just provided.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's just watch this TikTok. Here we go. One moment. Yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot of a lot. Wow.
Yeah, that giant metal hand of hers is called Mr. Diggertron.
Oh, God. I'm regretting 4 votes.
Nah, you gotta be cruel to be kind.
Pom Pom here from Honkai Star Rail literally looks like a Sergeant Frog character.
You can't fool me. They already put this dude into Genshin last year.
See, I just think like, oh, that's their version of Morgana.
Oh, God, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Ochi. If we've all seen Ochi.
We've all seen Ochi. Everybody's seen Ochi.
Dark SCRIMBLO.
Right, SCRIMBLO parentheses psychopath.
Then we have Brick from Pizza Tower, Mario from Super Mario RPG, Bunny from Star Ocean, the second story R. Tell me about Lapis Trails into Reverie character, because oh my God.
Okay, her name's Lapis Rosenberg.
Of course.
Have you seen Rosen Maiden?
No.
Are you aware of Rosen Maiden?
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
She's a doll.
I see.
She's a living doll that you is initially stored in a black suitcase, and she uses a gigantic axe.
I see.
She's also simultaneously a super genius and really dumb.
So that's why her eyes are 2 different colors. One part is the smart part.
Well, that and Suise Seki from Rosen Maiden also has differently colored eyes.
Of course. Of course. Okay. I'm definitely not voting first. Chris.
Lapis. I think something core to the SCRIMBLO archetype is they have to be cute, but there has to be at least a little part of your brain, at least a little bit, that's just like, I need to hit him with a rock. I need to just take this rock and overhead swing down into this creature as hard as I can. So backpack Korok. Puralika.
I don't think enough have been said to sell people on Puralika.
Puralika is like 3.5 feet tall and is a weeb.
Mm-hmm. And also does nothing but get sayings wrong. So the entire game, the bit that goes on is she will say like a turn of phrase completely wrong, and then someone corrects her. You just have to live with that.
Cool. I'm gonna be honest, I looked over, saw this character, and I was like, maybe I do want to play Disguise 7.
Yes, you do.
She seems unhinged.
And based on the hitting with a rock energy, Mario.
He's a threat, but that feels cruel.
How could you be so mean to him? We go next to Aggro.
Yeah, he's right about Mario. This Mario has like it's purely humanoid and yet exudes the energy, and you kind of like you want to hit it with a rock. You want to get the first strike because there's something unnerving about it. And you're worried that if you don't kill it in one strike, you're fucked.
He has such childlike energy. Like he's the child who was poorly raised and like has no manners or social barriers at all.
Oh my god.
Sami from Fire Emblem.
Correct.
A weird little mascot character amongst weird little mascot characters. The only thing I know about Lily from Discronia is this image that I've seen multiple times. And I just want to drop a cinder block.
Jesus.
No, let's hear him out.
No, that's the end of that thought.
Yeah, that's the essence of SCRIMBLO.
Last vote. I'm going to go with my girl Pitch Dark Hook the Great.
I'll go next. Sami. Literally don't even have to directly engage with the game to see the massive SCRIMBLO energy. It's like Blutz waves.
It is illegal levels.
It is literally not legal to sell in California. Sami. Hegro's really selling me on Pitch Dark Hook the Great. Absolutely throwing a vote in there. Lily from Discronia Chronos Alternate demands head pats the first time you activate it.
Oh my god.
And you do that in VR.
Yeah, okay, Cinderblock.
Only one more.
It's a tight category.
It is. It is really, really contentious this year. Possibly the most it's ever been. I'm giving it to Mario from Super Mario RPG Remake. That's my 4 votes. Bob?
Man. They're also SCRIMBLO.
Yeah, it's terrible. I wanted to vote for Brick.
Yeah, no, I get it. He's already run Rat of the Year, so I don't feel too bad.
Yeah. I look at Brick and don't have any malice in my heart whatsoever, so I can't, in good faith, vote for him for SCRIMBLO.
You don't worry about Brick burning down your house?
No.
Because in my opinion, that's a core part of the SCRIMBLO energy. That is the exact level of malevolence they will unleash upon me, so that way I'm not safe in my life. They'll burn my house down. Mario would absolutely burn my house down. Lily would burn my house down. Pitch Dark Hook the Great would not understand that fire would consume the whole building.
It's okay. She'd be like, ooh, what'd I do?
Like, this fire can't be Hook's fault.
Sami knows.
I'm going to vote for Perilica.
Does Perilica know?
She should.
Well, she'd be really optimistic about having set your house on fire. Like, we can turn this around, gang.
Yeah, it's okay. We got this.
I have to vote for Lily. It's
bad.
horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It was like, oh, you have my memories inside of you, but you're demanding head pats right now. And okay, fine, sure, yeah, okay, great. This fine.
Tamamo. Yes, from Samurai Remnant.
To Mau Mau, that's Tiger Chan, Bob.
Oh my god. I'm tempted to vote for Tiger Chan, but no, I'm sorry.
Tiger Chan,
she's too nice.
There's something about Tiger Chan. Okay, so spoilers for Endless Monday. Okay. You threatened to erase her from history because you drew her, you brought her into this world, you could take her out. And she tries to de-escalate at that point, right?
Uh-huh.
And she spends the rest of the game afraid of you if you don't literally kill her. That part of her she knows fear. She can't be true SCRIMBLO.
That's true. See, her motives are too knowable. That also eliminates her from the SCRIMBLO category to me.
Right. And it seems to me, at least, without provocation, Tiger Chan would not bite you, which all of the rest of these, I think, would.
Yeah, I feel like random anime fans would bite you. So yes.
Yes. No, that's true.
Oh my god. I don't want to vote for Sami, but I might have to. I just look at him and I'm like, no, you are too Scrimblo to not be voted for. So yes, Sami.
Sami is like a gravity well of Scrimblo.
Yeah.
This is the most, to me personally, this is the most called in advance this category has ever fucking been.
It was made in a lab. It's disgusting and gross, and I hate it.
That thing is a Scrimblo type Pokemon.
Okay. We have a 3-way tie with 3 votes each between Lily from Dyschronia Chronos Alternate, Sami and Mario from Super Mario RPG Remake. That is correct. That is the top 3. I don't know what the order is. We'll talk about it. With 2 votes each, we have tied Pirulika from Disgaea 7 and Pitch Darkhook the Great from Honkai Star Rail. With 1 vote each, we have Tamamo Aria from Fate Samurai Remnant, Backpack Korok from Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and Lapis from Trails into Reverie. Does anyone want to argue up anything?
I feel like Backpack Korok should at least be under consideration because Nintendo also understood, like, yeah, you just want to kill him. Like, they're here for you to build torture machines to use on.
They scream the whole time, and this is funny to you, the player. Okay, I'll allow it.
You can play Korok Space Program with them.
Yes, that is accurate. To make things easier, how about we discuss the runner-up first? Because I don't think these 3 aren't the top 3. They absolutely are.
Mm-hmm.
So I think figuring out the runner-up's the smart move.
Sure.
Okay, we're going to try this. I don't know if it will succeed, but we're going to try it. 2 votes each. Bob, between Pirulika from Disgaea 7, Pitch Darkhook the Great from Honkai Star Rail, and Backpack Korok from Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
It's got to be Pirulika in the Backpack Korok.
Aggro.
Pitch Darkhook in the Backpack Korok.
Chris.
Pirulika and the Backpack Korok.
I'm noticing a pattern. I'm going to do Pitch Darkhook the Great. And, the Backpack Korok. Damn, that motherfucker climbed out of, like, oblivion into runner-up.
And he still can't find his friend.
Like, he wasn't the strongest design, but he was the most focused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, none of these other ones have a whole gameplay mode of their large game. This just destroy them.
Right.
Crush them with the cinder block, please.
Delight with the misery. Glue them to a boulder and launch it through space.
This is efficient, actually. Don't feel bad about it.
They love this. They're screaming right now. They love this. Okay, so currently our top 3 is Lily from Dyschronia Chronos Alternate, Sami from Fire Emblem Engage, and Mario from Super Mario RPG Remake. In my head, the order goes Sami, Mario, Lily.
Correct.
I was actually thinking Sami, Lily, Mario.
I was thinking Mario, Lily, Sami.
You get all those votes, Dan?
No, sorry. 1 moment, let me open a straw poll with ranked choice voting.
I feel like Sami doesn't evoke the primal reaction in me that a Scrimblo truly needs to evoke. It's just kind of dumb looking. Like, I think it's important that you shouldn't judge yourself for wanting to cave in the Scrimblo's head with a rock. You need to just understand that that's the natural response to them. But I would feel bad swinging down, dropping the cinder block on Sami.
Really? I would feel worse for Lily, personally.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about Sami is so corporate and so nothing.
Oh, yeah.
They just kill it.
Yeah, because
no problem.
to me, Sami is like mascot, parentheses, evil, question mark.
Yeah, that heavy corporate energy is why I can't get behind it. It's like if you brought a character from the Emoji Movie, and it's like, that's a Scrimblo, and I'm like, No, it fucking isn't. Get it out of here.
That's rough to compare Sami to the Emoji Movie.
I don't know. I'm kind of seeing it.
Jesus. Okay, so Chris thinks Lily should be above Sami.
Yes.
I'm okay with
I'm okay with Lily being number 1.
If I was going to put anything above Sami, it would be Mario. Like he has, there's this added dimension to this freak of body horror. Like this was once a man. This was once a plumber who like passed through cosmic SCRIMBLO rays and was changed.
To me, part of being a SCRIMBLO is the animal vibe and instinct. And to me, weirdly, Lily gives that off more than Mario, and Sami gives that off the most. So, Aggro, you and I were Sami, Lily, Mario, right? Like originally the order you wanted to do?
Yeah, that works.
Bob, you were...
I'm reconsidering Sami. Maybe Chris is right, and he should be third, and the other two get to be like the kings.
And then Chris, you were, what was it, Mario, Sami, Lily?
No, Mario, Lily, Sami.
Mario, Lily, Sami.
I think Sami should be third. Sami is too corporate, too generic, lacks any strong emotion response from me at all. Meanwhile, I do want to kill both Mario and Lily.
I mean, Mario basically has had the SCRIMBLO equivalent of the super soldier serum shot into him for this game. In a way that I don't even think other characters in that game did.
No.
Because none of the others
Like
are that human.
they have emotion.
Except for Peach, her face doesn't animate most of the time outside of cutscenes.
But
she has sentience behind her eyes.
Right. Her aspect ratio also is more human-like. She lets to escape the SCRIMBLO territory that Mario lives in.
Like Mario and Super Mario RPG Remake is like this is what would actually happen if you made a dog into a person. Like this would be the look behind their eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's correct. So, Bob, if you were to rank Sami, let's just focus on the Sami end of this argument. Where would you put Sami?
I also feel like, maybe he's too corporate. Maybe he should be third.
Okay, so Aggro and I were thinking first. You and Chris are thinking third.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to meet halfway on that? And can we even recover from that point?
Yeah, I feel like we can pick him second and then figure it out from there.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But that's a really hard split because now...
I'm fine with either Mario or Lily being first. Like, I do just want to throttle Lily. I want to squeeze that creature.
Yeah, like the only thing that puts Lily ahead of Mario in my head is the ears. Like that just irradiates SCRIMBLO. But I get it. I'd be fine with Mario being first instead.
I also think Lily should be higher than Mario. So I'm okay with Lily taking first.
I'll vote for Lily being higher. Like it just has that energy like a Pretty Cure mascot does where I just have my fist up like I'm about to swing.
Yeah, it's things like this that are the reason Madoka Magica happened.
Okay, so then this order's correct?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to remind people, Discronia Chronos Alternate is a game you can play in normal mode on the Switch and probably also on PS5, but you don't have to have VR to give head pats. 2023's SCRIMBLO of the Year goes to Lily from Discronia Chronos Alternate, followed up in second place by Sami from Fire Emblem Engage, and Mario from Super Mario RPG Remake. Runner-up, Backpack Korok from Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
The only way he's finding his friend is if they're in hell.
Congratulations to all of our nominees. In the final category for Part 3, Worst Gaming Event. The winner's OTK Games Expo, baby. I had to watch this horrible human run one of the worst shows I've ever had to endure, and I feel bad for every dev who had a game there. The executive producers for this GigaBoots video are Esme, Ely Broyles, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, A Reminder for Symphony of War, Cooper Tank, Very Best Plot, Iconic Bane, and Rado. Thank you very much to our executive producers. And also these guys. If you want to become an executive producer or normal patron, head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.